Sorry about that. Well, this is Jamie, and welcome to SciFi Vision Presents Fandom Access. Today, we are going to be doing our rewatch and talking about the second episode. Um, okay, sorry there. We have Julie here with me today and Scarlett as normal. Thank you guys for coming, and thanks everybody for following along and for listening. Make sure that you take a moment and subscribe to the channel, and also check out Julie's stream, which is in the description. Julie do deep dives, so check hers out and follow hers as well. And you can get all of our previous interviews and live streams on our YouTube.
Thanks, Jamie. Great to be here as always.
Sure, thanks for coming. I'm trying to make a credit card order and it is not working. That's why I'm like distracted. I'm trying to order something before the sale's over and it is not listening to me. But hello. I'm gonna close my window here. Hi, Zapton. We got at least somebody in the chat already.
Yeah. Well, there's a Nathan Simmons video interview on What Is From Cast, so maybe more people will come after that's done.
It's wrapping up anyway. Yeah, it seems like they're about to wrap up.
Yeah, I saw something about that, but I thought it was already over. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's a long one, but yeah, they're wrapping up. So I'm sure more people will come.
That's cool. I hope I did the right thing there. That better be pickup. I'm looking at that. I'm like, that better come up. Yeah, it is pickup. Okay, sorry. I want to make sure I didn't like just charge a bunch of money to my credit card and be like, oh shit, what did I do? You know?
Oh no, yeah. You don't want to do the wrong thing.
Yeah, for those days. That's why you don't do something last minute. Anyway. So we'll talk about the second episode, and hopefully people will have lots of things to add. I feel like I have more notes for this one than I did the first one. I don't know that I feel more ahead, but I noticed I have more notes for this one at least. So
right. Yeah.
I don't know. How did you guys feel? Do you feel like you got a lot out of it, or?
Oh yeah. I got a lot. I feel like I probably got I got more out of the second episode than the first also, and just a lot of foreshadowing and metaphor. It's not like it's giving us concrete answers in our face the whole time, but it's more about like strong clues, I think, as to what's going on here, and foreshadowing. You know, Julie's illusion shirt, for example, with the what I now think is a rabbit, which I originally thought with an eye on it. I originally thought it was a rabbit. People told me it was a goat. We took another look at it. It looks like a rabbit to me. And
yeah, I always thought it was a rabbit, but
people also say it's a lamb.
Right. If someone else said maybe a lamb, but like that, she was wearing it in episode 1, but in episode 2, it's like really in your face. They have her tied up on a chair, and it's like they really want you to notice it and look at it. Like, look here, this is a clue. This is a clue as to what could be going on here. You know, illusions, the third eye representing like achieving enlightenment. Tabitha and Jade need to become enlightened about their reincarnated origins. It's things like that. I geek out and get excited over things like that. And maybe most people wouldn't, you know, like straight up horror fans who are watching the show, which would be like, yeah, whatever. But I love stuff like that. I love analyzing themes, metaphor, foreshadowing, symbolism, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think. Can you hear me? Okay.
You're a little low.
A little bit low.
Okay, sorry. I'm just making sure this goes through. I think that I agree with you, but I was going to say I think the important thing is the fact that it has a third eye more so than the rat, that whatever animal it is. I would think.
Absolutely, yeah. Although if it's a rabbit, could be a reference to Alice in Wonderland, like Scarlett has been talking about lately too. Like I've noticed those themes in the show for sure. Yeah.
The thing I was going to say, I noticed that I was surprised that I think Scarlett mentioned this last night when we did the watch party, that they started and ended it with Kenny chopping down the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's only episodes so far it's bookended like that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that they didn't do that since then.
Mm-hmm.
It's unusual.
Yeah, it's a very unusual episode because it's very monologue heavy. It has Kenny before and after, and it's really centralized on Kenny as a character. It's pretty different from the pilot. I mean, I like both of them, but they, they're different things for different people. these two episodes.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have necessarily noticed the monologues other than you mentioned it last night. So,
well, I mean, people are talking, but it's mainly a monologue. I mean, it isn't just one person on stage, but just one person interjecting a line here and there, but mostly monologue.
yeah.
And they're like Emmy winning, like Donna's. Like I could see that in like a Eugene O'Neill play where she's talking about her life,
Yeah. What was I going to say? You really get more, like a lot from her in this episode, because this is where a lot of people thought that we, that we saw Donna's sister, and obviously we didn't. It was all explained here, but yeah, she has that whole conversation explaining it.
Yeah, and we had the first appearance of the boy in white. That was a big deal. Really
yeah.
big deal.
And what we know, we got to remember, because I think this is where some people got confused, that Sarah at this point still didn't see him, which is so because I know whenever, and granted that's later when it says about kill the boy or whatever, people were saying, isn't that the boy in white? She didn't see it yet. So
yeah, it's interesting on rewatch trying to find, like, the first time Smiley shows up, first time boy in white shows up. I mean, I didn't know Smiley showed up this early.
wait, so when was he? Who did he kill? He was when was he in this episode? I missed that. I'll eventually get it out of my mouth. What part was he in? I don't remember seeing Smiley.
Yeah, he was at the door when Sarah left it open. And Gina, remember Gina, justice for Gina, everyone. Gina was checking on Toby.
Yes. Okay, I didn't know they showed him.
I and his wife.
I think after watching it last night and watching it again today, I would have seen it. But I was typing stuff while I was watching it today.
It was very quick.
It was pretty quick. Yeah, it was him and his wife. I'm pretty sure that the librarian's his wife.
I was going to say who you are assuming is his wife. We don't really know that, but yeah.
They look cute. They look cute as a couple.
The other thing I noticed in this that's different, and that they kind of stopped with, at least I haven't noticed it since then, is that I know when they show the RV, they have like the monsters sort of whispering.
Yes.
They didn't. Have they done that since then? Because I don't remember seeing it since then.
They don't whisper much now. Like I don't remember. Scarlett, do you remember them whispering since then? Because I don't.
I really don't. And I thought there was something later on, and this might prove when I rewatch it, as like I think somebody says they stopped whispering. Eventually,
you mean somebody in the show says that?
Yeah, like they whisper, and then he was like, they used to whisper. They stopped whispering. But I don't know who it was, and I don't know where it was, and I'll find it on the rewatch somewhere.
I know they said like they used to scream. They used to screech all the time, and then they stopped because they kind of changed their tactics. They would come up instead to people's houses and whisper and talk quietly and try to manipulate them into letting them in. I remember that. I don't know what episode they say it in. It's probably coming up soon.
And then I guess they stopped whispering. I mean, it's like...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't mean just talking quietly. I mean like you can hear like multiple overlapping, like you can't tell what they're saying whispers. I kind of wonder if they changed that because it's similar to something in Lost, and I wonder if people complained. I could be completely off. I just kind of wondered because that was the first thing I thought when I heard it, and I'm like, they don't do that now.
Yeah. What was it in Lost? If it doesn't spoil Julie watching Lost.
I don't remember. I just remember they were backwards. I think I might remember what it is, but if it is, it'll spoil it. So if I'm right, I don't want to say that. But it was kind of like a really big thing, and a lot of people were like going really deep on that and playing them backwards, and because they do
really,
they do say things in some of the audio. So yeah, I mean, they may not have wanted to kind of repeat that because so many people were saying, "Oh, it's just Lost," and that could have nothing to do with why they stopped. That's my guess.
Speaking of Lost, There's another thing too that I really picked up on in this episode that I know some people might not like the parallel to Lost, but I really feel that they were strongly implying that this place, like what's going on here, could be compared to a game of chess in this episode, by showing. I mean, in the very first episode, we had Kenny and his dad playing chess in one of the very first scenes, and then in this one, Kenny specifically compares this to a game of chess, saying like, every time I would play with my dad, it always ended the same way. I'd be down to my last piece on the board, just moving around, trying to avoid him. I think we're running out of spaces on the board, Sheriff. And then he hands him a bloody chess piece, which, I really feel like it's symbolic. And I strongly believe now that there are two opposing forces here. One side is pulling people in, trying to help the situation and break the cycle. The other side is pulling people in to manipulate and cause harm, like Sarah and Elgin. So they're being used like chess pieces. Maybe that's a rehash of Lost. I'm not far enough into it to know, but somebody did tell me that, oh yeah, like they did something similar in Lost. So
I mean, they have the whole but whether it's backgammon or Othello, I don't know. We had this discussion last night.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure that representing like a chess game is something that's just Lost. I mean, that's like in a lot of things, but
like
I definitely
Bergman films.
Yeah, I definitely think people are being used as pawns and forced to do things, especially like Sarah and Elgin. But as I've said before, like you're saying, it could be two different, like entities or whatever battling. It definitely could be, but like I've said before, it could even just be simply meaning, the town versus the people too. I mean, it could be, I think could be taken either of those ways, which I do think there's more than one entity. I'm just saying, like, if you don't want to go that deep, you could even just simply say it's the town, it's the people. But I mean, that's in a lot of things. And I think part of it too is because they have the boy in white. It definitely, at least to me, always made me think of the man in white from Lost. But again, white versus black, good versus evil, that's not, I mean, that's in Lost, but that's in a lot of things. That's sort of just like an archetype that's in a whole bunch of things. So
well, that was in Westworld,
yeah, it's definitely in a lot. And that's why I've said before, I think it would be funny if it ended up that the boy in white was bad. I don't think it will end up that way because I don't think they want to confuse people, but I think it would be kind of interesting if it did, just because everybody's always going to think the person in white is the innocent good side, just because that's the way things are in TV and movies and stuff.
I think they were trying to goad us into thinking he's evil from his first appearance with the creepy music in the background, and he's standing outside the window, creepily looking at Ethan and making this shh motion. Honestly, I think that was the misdirect. I think because they had me thinking he was evil from that first moment when they showed him doing that. So I don't know. I think he's the entity trying to help. However, I don't think this is just because I think it's similar to a game of chess with two entities, like doing that, and he's maybe trying to help. Man in yellow side, maybe obviously trying to hurt. That doesn't mean that it's purely black versus white, good versus evil, because I think it's something more ambiguous.
Shades of yellow. No, sorry.
What did you say?
I said there could be shades of yellow.
Exactly. It's actually funny.
Shades of yellow.
It's actually funny. Yeah, it's funny you say that, but because like in the chess game, Kenny and his dad were playing. Like, it wasn't black and white chess pieces. One side was more like yellowish. The other side was like lighter, and so it kind of. So I think that like the helpful side or the so-called good side is not purely good. It's ambiguously good. If it's bringing in people to help, like I think it is, like Boy in White, then it's also hurting those people by bringing them to this horrible place. So it's trying to help end the cycle, but it's not purely good. So I think it's going to be more ambiguous with this.
Chess pieces are also made out of wood, which would be a tree, which trees are very important to From.
Yeah, trees are definitely important in this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we also, I was just going to say, you talk about wood, and it just made me think we also have a lot about glass in this episode too. But yeah, I do, and this is what you were saying earlier. I do agree with you. I think there's a lot of more metaphorical things in this episode. Where did that go? Dieter was asking, and we had sort of talked a little bit about this last night. Do the monsters talk to Sarah and Kenny's dad or something else? I was thinking maybe the monsters when they sleep. and just okay, I'm not sure. Maybe he means in their sleep, or
Maybe
I'm not sure.
telepathically.
I don't know, but we talked about during the rewatch last night. I think it was you that said it, Julie, that you think Kenny's dad was maybe hearing them too.
Yes.
Because we don't understand what he says, we don't necessarily know that. I would be curious to see like a translation of some, what he said, to see if there's any clues in it.
Me
that
too.
reference that. I hadn't thought to look, but I'm sure somebody somewhere translated it.
I would hope so. It's the way that he was so calm and happy and smiling, and then all of a sudden he looks left and looks right and starts speaking Cantonese, like he's hearing voices coming from the left and the right, and then he gets agitated. He knocks over all the chess pieces and yells, "I want my son." So I think the voices were talking to him. He knew something was going to happen. And the voices knew that he's got dementia, so his mind was too broken to articulate what was going on. And then later, when he's laying in bed, he says, "This place, scary, night, scary. When this broke," and he pointed to his head, "that's nightmare." Like, the poor man can't even, like, their voices, I think, are talking to him, and his mind is broken from dementia, and he can't like articulate what he wants to, and he tries to stop Gina from going to check on Toby. He knows something's wrong. He says, no, stop.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible that they could have been just to be cruel, knowing that he can't do anything about it,
Yeah,
maybe. Or maybe even just telling him what's coming so he's scared. I don't know. But it does make me wonder, though, the fact, and I mean, I do hope everything is happening in reality, but they do in this episode, mention a couple times nightmares, and they even call them, nightmare creatures in the credits. And I just wondered, or I think maybe could it be possible that they're stuck in a nightmare, or that even maybe not even that, but maybe just the monsters came out of somebody's nightmare? Because we think of like the cicadas that maybe came from
Nathan,
yeah. I always want to call him the wrong name. From Nathan's. I mean, maybe the monsters came from their nightmares. Who knows? Because it also makes me question. I noticed twice in this episode, they say that they're not human. And I'm thinking, is that just because we weren't supposed to know yet what they were? Is it because they're not human anymore? Or is it because there's more to it than that?
I think it's because they used to be human. Like they're not anymore. They returned into something else. Now they're some other kind of creature. That's how I took it. But
it could be. I just thought about it because Boyd says they aren't people, and it's somewhere else in the episode too. They say something about it somewhere.
Well, I say this. I think that it's also just a warning, though, because they do look like people, and they're manipulating them, so they're not people. They're monsters because they turn into like the toothy beast.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to ask you guys. The painting in Ellis's room. What is that monster thing supposed to be? Because it looks like some kind of monster, but I kind of wondered. I noticed that it's just teeth, and I was kind of thinking, I wonder if maybe that just like represents Smiley or something. It
kind of looks like a Beetlejuice worm head on it.
Yeah, or some kind of lizard or like a dinosaur. It's so strange. I think it's got to be metaphorical, like not a monster we're actually going to ever see. Kind of like the Cyclops monster in Miranda's painting. It's like, I think it's metaphorical, but it's odd that they chose to represent it that way.
And the hands could be like the Kimono lady or other entities too, like the more human hands.
Yeah,
I
know if I move down the chat, I'm never going to get back to where it was. Fletcher, I'm assuming it was after what we just said. He says, whoops, I clicked the wrong thing. Said maybe it's a lonely dragon. I mean, it did kind of a little bit look like a dragon, or like it could be a dragon.
It did a little bit.
Yeah, so that's interesting. David,
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was happy to watch an interview with Jack Bender where he said that that was his Garden of Eden painting, because there were some people that weren't calling it that, but him himself painted it and calls it that.
That's definitely what it looks
Concrete
like.
proof.
Yes, fantastic. Yeah.
We need like a little sound effect that you press. It just goes has Boyd going concrete proof.
Yeah,
something. Like your little bell. David's asking.
Oh yes.
Yeah. David's asking if we watched the video explain the rule of thirds in cinematography yet. And says for the scene with Kenny and his father throwing the chessboard. I have not. I don't know if you guys have watched it.
I know what the rule of thirds is.
Yeah, I know what the rule of thirds is too. And I know during when Jack was on our show, he did. I think it might have been John that said it, but it was clearly about his directing. But they were talking about how when they had murders and things, they generally didn't do anything in the middle of the frame. That they put it off to the side on purpose, just kind of as a artistic decision. So I don't know if that's what David means. I'm guessing, knowing David, he probably means something much more involved than what I'm thinking. But I have not watched the video yet. I have so many things I should watch, and I have just not gotten to do yet. But I want to watch some of these videos and that interview with the other interview with Jack.
I think it had to be like shot. So, well, I watched a really old interview with the actor who played Kenny's dad, and they said they had to shoot those scenes so many times with them pushing the pieces off the chessboard that he felt really bad that the production people had to pick them all up and put them back on the board again. So I don't know if there's a significance to what's still on the board. Like they directed them to leave pieces on the board.
Maybe, but
they just took the best shot of that.
The way it looked. I don't know.
Yeah,
you would think they'd use 3D animation, but it probably would take more money. And they're just like, we'll just do it 50,000 times instead.
Yeah, you just use production assistant power.
Yeah, make them do it. Fletcher's mentioning Constellation. Constellation is a good show. I hadn't thought to mention that to people. That is one I think if you like the mystery of From, you probably would like Constellation.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
That's a good movie. They were supposed to maybe have a second season. I don't think there's going to be, but I know at the time there was some talk. I think it ended up not renewed, if I remember rightly, but I can't remember for sure.
As usual, an amazing show. It did get canceled. As usual, an amazing show with a lot of mystery. Got canceled. However, I would still recommend it to anybody to watch it because you do get enough answers by the end of the season to be satisfied. I did. I was satisfied.
Yeah, I remember feeling like it was a complete story, and I didn't feel like it. I was surprised when I had heard it might have a second season. It's kind of like Dark Matter. I remember thinking, did we need another season? Not that I'm not very happy to get another season of Dark Matter. I am, but
they wrapped it up. It felt like they wrapped up Dark Matter.
And I felt like that with Constellation too. I can't remember. I don't think Constellation necessarily had a neat little bow ending, but I remember not being dissatisfied with the way it ended.
Yeah, and the same thing with The Watchers. They wrapped up The Watchers, and that got renewed for another season. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but
Watchers. What's I know the movie The Watchers. There's a series The Watchers. I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
it's different.
It's based on a true story about a stalker who sends letters to this family when they move.
Oh, that yeah. I don't.
I'm watching you.
I've never seen that. I know what you're talking about, but I never ended up watching it.
It's a great show. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So many shows I want to sit down. I just need I need hours in a day. That's why when somebody asked what I wanted for Christmas, I said, can you give me a week of time of just sitting down and not having to do anything and just not make me a week older, just give me a week. Because I feel like that's what I need. Let's see. Fletcher says, I think the boy in white isn't that good-sided as most think, to be honest, and he isn't a boy, like Sarah said. I definitely don't think he's a boy. I mean, he's been there since Victor. Since Victor's little, but I mean, I don't think anything's as black and white as the boy in white. After I said that, I'm like, okay. But no, I mean, I agree. I don't think, and this is what you were saying a couple minutes ago, Julie, I don't think anything is that simple. I think that there's definitely more to it than that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be more ambiguous. I think he's trying to help end the cycle, but by bringing people here to help with that, he's hurting them too. In my opinion, I think that's what he's doing. But
Yeah, I think my biggest question about the boy in white, though, is how he fits into the other children, like with the other children. Like, I don't think he's a child now, but I don't know. Like, he may have died when he was a child, and that's why we see him as a child. I don't know, but I have to assume he's not one of the sacrificed children. So I want to know where he fits in.
Yeah, that's true. Like what's the origin of the boy in white? That's such a mystery. Where
Mhm.
did he come from? Was he supposed to be one of the sacrificed kids that got away? Like, it's a big question mark.
Yeah, I that's where I know they're not going to have time. I feel like if they have 2 seasons to answer all our questions, and I mean, I hope they do, a satisfactory job. But what I would love to see is if there's things that are left that we don't find out, like say that's something that maybe we don't necessarily need to know his backstory. I'd like to know though, but like they should do like little one-off things. Like it would be cool to do just like a little like special that is like all about the boy in white or something, but we don't have like maybe time for them to devote like a whole episode to that. But they could do like little mini episodes or something, kind of like how Walking Dead did like the like mini like little web series and stuff. They could do
God, I
something
wish
like
they would.
that. That would be
So
cool.
they would do that, but the showrunners of From just completely shot that down. I don't remember which interview it was that I
Oh
watched.
no, really?
Yeah, they were asked if they would ever consider doing any bonus content to hold the fans over, and
Oh
they
yeah,
said
that's right.
no. They just shot it completely down. They said no, they wouldn't do an after show. No, they won't do like a web series or a podcast or anything like that. They said they're more interested in the character drama. Well, so I was disappointed, but I think they're doing an amazing job with the mythology too. So obviously that's also important to them. So it's
They
okay.
probably don't have time. I thought they said something about they were trying to explain, and I don't know if this is from the same interview you watched or not, but I think what I'm thinking of was on E-Man's. They were explaining that like they couldn't have, at least themselves couldn't have an after show because like
Yep, that was it.
yeah, because they were saying that like the people, if people had an after show, they would expect them to be answering questions, and like the actors don't have the answers. But regardless of that, I think everybody would still like to have just like behind the scenes stuff, like
Yeah. Like the special
Walking Dead
effects
type
or
thing.
the production or anything like that.
Absolutely.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably takes a lot of extra time though that maybe they don't have.
Yeah.
But still, in my heart of hearts, I can still have that Smiley in a pilgrim hat, like story of Cannibal Village.
Hey, write a fanfic. And
Well,
hey, with
they didn't say
AI,
they
you'll
want-
probably be able to film one by the time the show's done.
They didn't say that they want to go back in time and maybe have a little bit of the colonial people in there. It's just the supplemental stuff, so
It could be cool.
there's still hope.
Well, I mean, they could. The truth is, too, even if they wanted to do something, they're not going to tell people because then people will complain if they don't do it. Like they'd have to do it first.
That's a
and
Yellow
then-
Jackets problem.
Excuse me, then announce it.
Yeah, because Yellow Jackets is supposed to have a cabin, like a very special Cabin Daddy Christmas episode, and they haven't yet.
Yeah, that's the problem with promising people things ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna get attacked. David's still talking about the chess scene. Says everything is framed properly until the last shot. After his father throws the chessboard, it cuts back to Kenny, but he's off center, showing his infliction. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to where the things were, but now that he's mentioned that, like I had said, they had talked about not filming things center screen. And I had, after they said all that, I had meant to start paying attention and watching it. Do you think I did? No, of course not.
Sorry about, I was just going to say,
No, go ahead.
When I started to notice that is when I never noticed that they did that until I started taking copious amounts of screenshots of every episode for my lives. I was like, man, they're always framing the shots with the actor on the right side of the screen, always, which actually makes for a great screenshot. I have room to put my text. I have room to, to put the logo. It works well for me. But
makes it more interesting.
They're always doing it. Yeah, always.
Yeah. I need to do stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't taken screenshots like that and since I think X-Files when I used to do it, driving myself nuts. I don't know if I could sit there and do that. I think I'd get too mad at it trying to get the exact frame and I'd give up. I don't know. Just knowing me now, I don't think I have the patience for it.
Oh, just do what I do and just sit there and take like 400 of them. And you'll
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think I'd be I would like go nuts trying to do it. I mean, no, it's awesome that you do it. I just don't think I could. I think I don't have the patience. I just don't.
I sit there and just hit the button over and over and over for the whole episode, and then I have to weed through and delete all the duds after. So,
At least you have a reason though. You're looking for things. When I did that back for X-Files, I did it. I mean, like I had a reason. I posted them on my website, but I mean, I did that. I took like hundreds of screen captures.
Yeah.
And I put them up and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. that was unfun back then. It'd be less fun now.
The most I've ever taken for one episode, the most I've ever taken is like 700, which is insane. I think that was during the finale or something like that.
I think they have programs that will take them every so often, by the way.
Oh, really?
I think they do now. Like I said, I haven't done it in so long. I don't know, but I vaguely remember hearing something about like you can set it somehow to like take them every 30 seconds or something, and then you don't have to sit there.
That would be nice.
Although probably if you did that, you'd have all really bad shots and you'd want to go back and fix them, and then it'd be like, well, that was more time than it was worth, right?
You have a bunch of actors with their eyes closed and like weird expressions on their faces.
Yeah, a lot of candid shots. Fletcher stuff when I was saying about the shades of yellow, he said 50 Shades of Yellow.
Well, so did I.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that. Sorry. I'm getting a migraine. I hope it doesn't get worse. Rubbing the back of my head as I talk. Okay, let's see. Carl Monocle. Fletcher says maybe they're stuck in the black and white. Why do I do that when I read?
I
guess it's just because I'm reading it like an abbreviation rather than a from thing. Because usually when I write black and no, it isn't even black and white. Where am I getting black and whites? It's what dude, I haven't gotten enough sleep. This is the problem.
Yes.
This is what happened. When I don't get enough sleep, I sound like I've been drinking and I just don't make a whole lot of sense. Because after I said that, I'm thinking, it's not black and white, it's black and white, you idiot.
So, I read things all screwed up too when I like on my live. I get so tired and I start saying stupid things and saying the wrong names and I can't even read properly.
I start sending Julie kangaroo fighting GIFs at 6 a.m.
Yeah, the things start to get weird and silly.
Yeah, it starts to get weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's hard not to do streams for a long time and not get silly at a certain point. David says the active polar shadow of the warrior is a sadist inflicting pain on others. The passive polar shadow is a masochist, a victim who unconsciously loved to receive pain. Sounds like Sarah. Yeah, I mean, there's again though, even just saying that, there's so many things in this show that have polar opposites. Just like we're saying, black and white, good and evil, giving and receiving pain, love and hate. I mean, not that isn't true of a lot of shows, but yeah, I don't know all of what that means, David, but what I could connect it to made sense. I don't know. David makes me feel very stupid sometimes when I read his. No offense. When I read your comments,
I was talking about the active and passive parts of the warrior, like probably archetype.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always interesting. Yeah, David does like the really deep psychological insights, like Freudian archetypes and like Jungian stuff. It's always interesting. Yeah, some of it.
It's always interesting. I don't know if I'm like reading it right because I'm not not necessarily understanding some of it, but I'm trying.
Yeah. No, same.
It's too late at night for my brain to work that well.
The warrior has to be a sadist because he's like killing people or attacking people.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But inside, he probably wants to be attacked himself.
Maybe I don't know, but yeah, Sarah definitely has both sides of that.
Sarah doesn't seem to enjoy receiving the pain, though. I mean, she's suffering really bad.
Well, she doesn't really seem to enjoy giving the pain, though, either, to be fair.
No, she doesn't. No.
I mean, she isn't holding her hand and going, "Oh, sweet delights."
No,
Yeah.
she's not a sadist. That's for sure.
No, the monsters are, though. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. Sorry, we got off track, and I'm not sure what Fletcher's comment was about. It's probably just how the show, it shows the creatures trying to capture them, making a monster in that draw. Oh, the painting. When I was talking about the Adam and Eve painting. Okay. The ant. They're talking about the dragon still. See, we're behind. Constellation, Yellow Jackets.
I did see the trailer, the season 3 trailer. There's a comment.
I still haven't seen the end of season 1 or any of season 2 again.
Oh no.
We need to watch these. No, I do want to. I'm hoping over the holidays I'll have time to watch some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping.
It's perfect for Christmas.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. Severance is first, but yeah, then I want to try to watch them. Yeah. Ant's saying that he thinks the boy in white appears as a little boy to seem less threatening. I think that definitely makes sense. I think he also appears as a boy to connect better with Victor too, because I think it makes Victor. I mean, Victor's older now, but he's still kind of in that mindset, you know.
Yeah. I think I agree with Anne that he tries to seem less threatening. You know, he's appearing to Victor and Ethan like they're, you know, like little boy mentality. Yeah, it would trust the appearance of a boy in white, less scary. I don't think that means that he's nefarious, but you know, he wants them to be comfortable with him, to trust him, because he has helped them. I mean, he helped. Yeah. He helped Victor. He helped Julie. He got them to a tree, you know, safely at the college.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess Fletcher thinks it's nefarious because he says, I think it's to mislead them, that there's something off. You know, like we said earlier, I don't know that he's 100% good, but he seems for the most part to be a positive influence.
I think so myself. Yeah. I've seen even more evidence this season that he's there to help, at least, you know, however he can help end this cycle. Like, see, he sent Tabitha out saying it's the only way. And then he told Victor in season 3, you know, I think it's best if you figure it out on your own. It's the only way you'll understand. So I think that was a callback to the line to Tabitha. He was sending her to find Henry, learn about Miranda, which was part of her origin, and helping to her to get to that point, figure it out on her own gradually, which is going to help her figure out what she needs to do to try to end the cycle. So to me, that looks helpful with ending the cycle.
I wonder, though, if it's something simply like he's also not really supposed to help. Like he's supposed to observe and not take part in it, and he's been doing more than he's supposed to.
Maybe that's the part.
Yeah, maybe. Dieter's talking about a spinoff for the beginning would be awesome if made by the same team. I don't think that they'll do that, but I would love that. But they could even just do like an episode, just like how they did with Lost, how they did like the tail section or whatever, like a whole episode about it. Like, I'd love to see an episode from the point of view of the creatures. I think that would be really cool.
Or the creatures when they were human.
Well, yeah, that would be cool too. But no, I meant even now, like when the people come to the town, like what they think about it, why they're trying to cause problems. I mean, we know they're trying to kill them, but I just mean like, it could be kind of cool seeing from that point of view. But yeah, I hope that we see like the lead up to their immortality. That would be cool too. And Ant says, if the show gets an even huger fan base than it already has, I think somebody else will take over and do some spinoffs. You know, it's funny. Most shows never get spinoffs, even, necessarily, but then you get something like AMC, like Walking Dead, where they spin off everything they possibly can. I don't know. I don't see it happening just because I can't see it happening, but I would love to have it happen. But only if it's done right, though. I mean, I wouldn't want like them to ruin it, but obviously it would have to be somebody still at the same company. Fletcher's saying a prequel would be amazing, or other timelines even. They could do multiple spinoffs like The Walking Dead. Yeah, that would be cool if they could. I don't know. I guess I'm not optimistic about it.
Yeah. They need to up their marketing game.
Yeah, they do. That is very true. They do need.
They
to
need
up
the
their
Jade
mark.
Chia pets and the Smiley Funko Pops and the, you know,
Yeah.
all that.
Talismans, like that. People will
Talismans.
They definitely need talismans, but the pops, you never know. They can have years later. Because I know they just came out with Stargate pops from the series, and that show was done what, like over 20 years ago or something, or so, or well, it was on over 20 years. I don't know how long it's been since it was off, but so yeah, you never know. But I'm sure there's people that are making fake ones, not making fake ones, making
oh yeah,
fan ones. I'm like giving the right word to it. Besides, I know everybody's seen the AI pictures, but I mean like actual ones that they're making. Probably I haven't.
Yeah, they just repurpose other Funko Pops. Yeah, I've seen Yellow Jackets. The Yellow Jackets ones expanded with people making their own using different Funko Pops.
Yeah. Well, now they have the pop yourself too, so you can do even more.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I would do it if my talents were that good in clay, but they're not. I can make some jewelry, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But that would be cool. I'd love to have pops for the show. I'd buy them. I think a lot of people would buy them, but I think that's probably just as much up to Funko, maybe more up to Funko than it is up to MGM.
They could make loads of money if they just sold talismans and Funko Pops. Yeah, like they're missing out a lot of revenue there. And as far as what Fletch said about other timelines, I think now at least we have a chance at seeing at least a glimpse of other timelines if Julie's story walks and sees that, which I'm really hoping. I could totally see that happening, that they could do that. Just give us a glimpse. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah. Anne says that I hope they don't waste time in season 4 going back in time and explaining in the beginning. See, that's the thing. And this is how a lot of things are. And it was what I was kind of trying to say, that like, I think that it would be so cool to see that, but I don't want them to take time out of the season to see it, because we don't get enough, 10 hours isn't enough.
Yeah.
And I think it would be split. I think some people would be happy with it, but I think it would just take too much out of it. So yeah, leave that stuff. Even just write like a novel after the show's done, something. Let us know what it would have been. I love when, and this is, sorry, I'm going completely off on a tangent, but I love when at least when a show is like done, at least if they tell what the plan was, I remember that show Persons Unknown that got canceled way too soon.
Oh God, I love that show.
There was an interview somewhere where they like laid out like a long part of their plan of what they had intended to do.
Oh, I gotta find that.
Well, I couldn't tell you where it was at. I read it so long ago. It was years ago I read it, but I thought that was so cool that like they at least told what they had planned. Like, I wish they'd do that with the OA, something like that. Like, we just want to know, even if you can't make it, we still want to know.
Or they had a graphic novel or something.
Yeah, and the thing is, even if you can't get it made, and you tell us, and then like later you can get it made, we'll still watch it. We're not going to be like, oh, we already know, we don't want to see it. We'll still watch it.
Yeah, like we just want answers. It's the worst thing in the world when a mystery ends on a cliffhanger and you never get to find out what was really going on. Like 1899, everyone wanted at least a graphic novel or something, and at least tell us, give us something, because now we'll never know. Persons Unknown. That's amazing that they did that. I loved that show. It should have gotten another season.
That was such a good show.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think a lot of times those shows don't do good because people don't have the patience. That's why I'm so glad that From has done well. And I think that if it was on mainstream TV, I don't think it would have done as well. I really don't.
It would have gotten the axe.
Yeah, so many shows get canceled way before they should, and MGM has given it a chance.
If this had been Netflix, it would have been gone, just like 1899, The Society, and Archive 81, and the OA after 2 seasons. At least the other ones got 1. The OA got 2. But yeah, Netflix would have gotten rid of From. They wouldn't have kept it, even though it's a fantastic show. They love canceling mysteries on cliffhangers and never giving answers. It's a shame.
Or they don't give a show a chance to thrive because
Yes.
sometimes it takes a little, 1 or 2 seasons to build.
I think it's also because, I mean, I've heard, again, I don't know, but I've heard that a lot of times they don't give it a chance too because they're so busy trying to bring in new viewers, and like a season of, a later season of a show that's already there, it's not bringing in new people. So they'd rather just cancel it and start something else, which is really awful. And I hope isn't the case, but I've definitely read that before. Fletch says, thinks that might be the plan, the last season being them trying to break the curse or something. Fletcher's talking about them going back in time and explaining it. Let's see. David says the trick with Abrams' mystery box, it's like Desire. The audience wants to know what's inside. The desire to know creates a void that can never be filled, so they never open the box or write the ending. Yeah, it's kind of like it'll never live up to you worry it won't live up to what you want, but you have to, that's the thing, is you have to accept whatever the writers write though, and not, because like so many people got mad about the end of Lost and didn't like it, and it's like, no, nobody, you're never going to make everybody happy.
No, it's impossible. So, you can't. And with this show, there are going to be a lot of people who don't like it one way or the other because there are a million different theories going on. So a lot of people are going to be wrong, and they're not going to like that.
Yeah, David's statement right here reminded me of the blue box in Mulholland Drive, which never got an explanation. Because David Lynch doesn't like to give explanations. He likes the viewer to come up with their own, spin on it.
Yeah, well, no, I would like to see an explanation, but I don't know. I always personally feel like, it's the writers, it's their thing. They can end it however they want. We don't have to like it. You just have to accept it. Ant says, I would not mind one, but just not a whole season put towards the beginning of the town. From Lake World dying to see what happened with the characters that would suck for them to introduce all. Oh, he's saying not have a whole thing on the
one episode,
or just one scene, and it just has Cannibal Village 1506.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, one scene, one episode, like no more than that. That would be great.
Maybe to explain them making the totems or something, and then that's just it.
Yeah, we don't need a whole bunch, just a little bit. Let's just say Julie can story walk and other spinoffs.
Yeah, she could.
You have a Monster of the Week spinoff show.
Yeah. And Fletcher's saying Martin could have a spinoff. Yeah, he could have. They could do a whole spinoff on who Martin is, right?
Or he's just chained to the wall, and different people come and talk to him.
Yeah, make just like a Talking Heads thing. Let's see. Okay, David's still talking about the archetype. Every archetype has a shadow, a puller, and a passive shadow. Like the ruler has a shadow, the tyrant, and the weakling. Void and the Joker and Innocent are the polar shadows of the magician Jade. I like to match all the characters' archetypes to see their shadow archetype and their allies and enemies. He doesn't mislead them. The boy in white wants them to witness it for themselves. So that was a separate comment. Yeah. I mean, that's true. If he tells them how to do it, they're not going to be able to finish it.
You ever thought of calling in, Dave?
Yeah, maybe you can explain.
Talking to us about this.
Yeah, he's always got a lot of interesting thoughts.
Well, I want to hear more of it.
Boy in White tried, though. Boy in White tried in the last cycle to tell Christopher a lot of stuff, and apparently it didn't go well, so he changed his tactics. We saw him telling Christopher stuff. Christopher said, everything here lies, so he didn't believe him, and something went wrong. We don't know what happened with Christopher. That's still yet to be explained, but yeah, I think he snapped.
Yeah, Fletcher's saying that the same thing you just said, that last time he shared knowledge with Christopher, and maybe the man in yellow might have been someone because knowledge comes with a cost. Boy in White looked like he had remorse for it. Yeah, I mean, maybe he was trying to avoid that. It's possible.
Interesting.
Okay, that comment I think was in reference to something somebody else said. David says it's a lesson in why you can't tell someone the truth. Like the Yellow King, knowledge comes at a cost. Like the movie They Live, when he tried to force his friends to wear, I don't know what that's about, wear the glasses in the fight scene. Yeah, sometimes they have.
You've never seen that movie?
I've never seen it either.
Oh, you need to see this movie. and it has a fight scene that goes on forever, but it's fine, Julie. You don't have to watch it all.
Yeah.
It's basically about aliens that are like basically infiltrated humanity, and
I think I know what that movie is. Wait, go on.
Okay.
I think I have seen it.
And the guy finds glasses that have him. He can see the subliminal messages and stuff that aliens are putting out.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good movie. Yeah.
It's highly recommended by me.
Yes, fantastic.
But it also has a huge long fight scene.
Yeah, it does.
For no real reason.
It does. Yeah.
It goes on forever and gets comical to me, at least.
Fletcher's asking why. Excuse me. He told Christopher then. I think maybe. I mean, just personally, I think he was trying. It just didn't work when he told him.
Yeah, I think he was trying to help, tell Christopher.
Or maybe he just tries to ask one of the pair of reincarnated people, and it hasn't gone well so far.
Yeah, I mean,
he just gave up after Christopher.
Yeah, I mean, they've clearly gone through multiple cycles, and they've never been able to stop it before. So there's something that they have to change something. I mean, that's kind of my guess is maybe it's just like, well, this time I'm not going to tell you. See what happens. Because he's getting fed up with it not working. I don't know. Let's see. Dieter says he really wants the pops. I never wanted those, but from yes. It's not the Photoshop ones. Those were AI, but yeah, they do look like they would be cool if they made them. I lost where it was. Fletcher says, did the writers confirm it had nothing to do with the King in Yellow? I don't remember hearing that, but
they didn't confirm it, but no, I don't think they confirmed it has nothing to do with it. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
I mean, they did say something vague about being inspired by a lot of literature.
Yeah.
Give it what you will. I think they're more inspired by Tucker Everlasting myself, because they seem to be theater people and into dramas like Eugene O'Neill. So I just assumed, and children's literature, like we were talking, Julie,
Yeah.
I feel like they're more influenced by that, but that's always just going to be me spitballing because I don't know.
There was something interesting, though. Doug Hughes, who plays the man in yellow, said in an interview with Tony Teflon that when somebody asked him, what does the man in yellow or the king in yellow mean to you? He said, it means it's something on my reading list. And then, and then he said, I have a lot of prep work to do before next season. That kind of made me think, like, well, maybe he thinks it's relevant. I don't know.
Well, I don't think probably he hasn't read it, so he doesn't know if it's relevant.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they do it when they hear all these. They're like, and they have no clue what some of them are. Do they go out and look it up?
Yeah, they don't know. They don't tell them anything.
Yeah. They don't. So if they want to know, they gotta research it.
Yeah.
Or watch our shows, then they don't have to. Maybe. Fletcher says that maybe Boy White isn't telling them because he already told during the other cycles, and it ended with the massacre. He's afraid it'll happen again.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is very likely the case.
I agree.
But like I said, whatever they're doing, it's not working. So they got to do something different. That's why I worry, like, should they lose hope, or will they lose hope? Because, I mean, how many times can you do it and not feel like, what's the point if they've done it so? I mean, I know it's their kids. They're going to try. I don't mean it that way. I just mean, like, it's got to be really, like, frustrating to have come back over and over again and know that you didn't really make a difference,
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And he's just not because he wants him to remember, because that's the Inkui role. Yeah, they helped him remember. David says the link to From is forbidden knowledge and loss of innocence, a symbol of the Yellow King.
Yep. Yeah, that's something that I think is more of a theme in the show than it seems. Like, I don't think it's just about that one scene with the man in yellow and Jim. When I was watching episode 2 again, I saw Fatima, who represents Eve in the show. Like they're connecting her to Eve. She stands there talking to Julie, and she takes a big bite out of an apple, which represents the forbidden fruit in the Bible. And then she offers Julie a piece. Julie declines it. And then we know what later happens to Fatima. She has to be forced to birth this creature, and as a result of birthing the creature, she gets knowledge. It came at a cost. She gets the knowledge that she has this revelation that the monsters sacrifice their children to get immortality, but it came at a cost. She was forced to carry this creature and murder a woman against her will. So again, knowledge comes at a cost. I think they had her bite into that apple for that biblical symbolism, the forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, and then I added when we talked to this last time that she gave birth to a snake.
Yeah.
I I wish with that though they would be more clear on whether that's something that the kimono woman told her or just something she knows now, because they didn't show her telling her. It does more seem like it's just something she learned, but they didn't explain why.
Right. Yeah.
Just from Smiley being like a pod inside of her.
Yeah. Transmit it, psychically to her head. I wish they had shown her having a vision. That would have been more effective.
It would have been. There's talk about spinoffs. Let's say. I wish you could click on the things too. You're better at it. I'm like trying to do this.
No, you're doing great.
Chris says, I know. If I'm going slow, like I said, I have a migraine. I'm having like a hard time.
I mean, we're supposed to have the sweet power, but I've never been able to do it.
I mean, you're in StreamYard. I thought you could, but if you're not logged into the account, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
you
know
have to have special permissions granted, I think, in the settings somewhere. I haven't been able to figure it out.
Yeah. What would be helpful? Chris just says, if they do a spinoff, it better be a prequel. We need answers on how Victor survived all those years alone. I would like to know how he survived alone too, but that's like not one of my biggest questions. Like I could be okay not knowing that.
Right.
Like the boy in white helped him. I don't know. Like, and I'm not saying I don't want to know. I'm just saying in the scheme of things, like if they don't have time for a lot of things, that's one of the things that I don't know. Just like the boy in white's history. Like it's not, I don't know. It's not my most pressing question, I guess.
Right. I would like to see at least a little glimpse, just something to give us some idea of how he was surviving. Like what was he eating? Like what was he doing? How did he peaches? Yeah, I guess he was living off peaches for 40 years. I don't know.
I guess that the entity can make vegetables appear near a lake, if that's where we think made the vegetables appear at the lake. I guess they can also make endless peach cans appear too.
Sure, why not?
Although, I don't know. I mean, if that whole truck was full of peaches at one point, I guess for one person, they probably would last a really long time.
They get kind of nasty after about 5 or 6 years.
They would. No, I don't know. That's just one of those things, I guess.
It's not the healthiest diet either, though.
No, but I mean, I assume he probably, I don't know, like he must have planted or hunted or something, but he would have had to know how. So I don't know. That's one of those things we'll probably never get.
Well, he said the boy in white helped him, so maybe the boy in white brought him stuff.
Yeah.
In the beginning, at least.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, probably something like that. Fletcher says, Storywalker Julie helped young Victor survive.
No. Oh, no. And she's like, I'm going to write a book about this, and you're the lonely dragon, and I'm going to put pseudonym on it, so my younger brother doesn't know about it.
Honestly, it's not so crazy, though, that Julie may have met young Victor in this episode, in the episode 2 that we just rewatched. Victor is so comfortable talking to Julie. He doesn't just randomly talk to people like that. It's almost like instinctively, he doesn't remember because he doesn't remember anything, but he instinctively trusts her. He says, 2 cars came. That hasn't happened in a long time. It's special. What do you think it means? He leans in close. Like he doesn't act like that with other people. So I don't know. I
Mhm.
think maybe he met Storywalker Julie, but who
Mhm.
knows? Might never find out for sure. But like, I'm hoping we see some scenes of Julie popping up in different cycles. Maybe she's a figure. I want
Yeah,
to
we
see.
definitely would like to see that. But yeah, he did seem awful familiar with her, but it's hard to know with Victor. He's sometimes, it's hard to know why he does things. But
Right.
the thing that makes it hard to know things too, in my opinion, is the fact that sometimes, like, and I think we had said this before, how, like, they film the pilot or whatever, and then they get picked up, and sometimes they change things or they do things differently, and it's like the pilot isn't always as connected. It's kind of like I said earlier with the Whispers, they might have just decided, well, we're not going to do that. Yeah, I don't know, because I thought Victor acted a lot different in this episode. Like, he didn't act as childlike. He acted creepy still in this one.
Right.
If you don't know him, I mean, we know him, so he isn't creepy to us now, but he did act kind of creepy. But I remember thinking when I watched this, he didn't act so childlike, like he wanted to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, I think they were trying to make it more cultish and more scary in the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
Just in general. More horror tropey, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah, Dieter, we're for the most part staying in the second episode. Whoops, I lost where it was at. Let's see. Whoa, what was that? Something weird noise. And then Fletcher says it would make sense since we see Victor interacting with a newcomer and Julie. Yeah, I really hope we do see her in other times. I'm still hoping as we do the rewatch, she'll pop up somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, Kravenuckle's like pulling the thoughts right out of my head today. Yeah, he had the same thought. He had the same thought. I didn't even see that comment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of since he does act like maybe he knows her. Well, we're hitting the hour. If you're just with us, please make sure that you take a moment to subscribe to the channel and check out Julie's channel, which is linked in the description. And thank you, Dieter. You reminded me. I saw your post. I'm so bad at this. And you can see all our interviews and live streams under YouTube. So yeah, take a moment and explore both of our channels. Oh, Scarlett, I saw be right back. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm like slow tonight. My headache is getting worse. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like I sound just, I don't know.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's not easy to do this.
No. I feel like I'm usually more energetic, but my head is pounding and like I'm reading it and I feel like I'm reading really slow. It might just be the way I feel, but I feel like that anyway.
Well, it's with a migraine, I would imagine looking at a screen isn't very comfortable.
No, it's not. I might at least move over to the couch in a little bit, but right now I'm going to try to keep going for a bit anyway. Take some Excedrin. Fletcher says, I just don't know why Victor later on makes a drawing of Julie, maybe to remember trying to remember a Storywalker Julie. That's interesting. He does draw her, and I think we earlier on in the season had said something like, why did he draw her if he only draws to remember?
Right, exactly. That's strange.
A really good point.
That could be.
That really makes you wonder.
Yes. Yeah. There's something to that. He also later told Ethan that pictures are for things that are gone. He wouldn't accept a drawing Ethan made of himself trying to give it to Victor. So yeah, I don't understand why he said that, because Julie is not gone unless she's going to be gone. But maybe it was to remember. Maybe it was like you try to remember the version of Julie that was gone from the past that he like was trying to bring back the memory that was gone. Maybe that was what it was. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know, because it was weird when he said that. Let's see. Why isn't Dieter a mod here? Because I have no idea how to add a mod to things.
It's I couldn't figure it out for a while myself how to do it, but then I discovered the easiest way. I couldn't believe how easy it was when I realized it. All you have to do, like the easiest possible way to do it, is if you have a YouTube tab open while your stream is going on and you have the chat right there, you can make anybody a mod just by clicking on their comment. Their three little dots. No, not three dots. You click. Wait a minute. Well, actually, no. It works. Yeah, I think if you click on their it's not working for me because it's your stream and not mine. I'm like, why isn't this not working? But if it's your stream and you click on their comment, it lets you add them as a moderator. A little menu pops up and it says add as moderator. Just FYI.
What does it do though? Like out of curiosity, I didn't know you could do that in YouTube.
It gives them the little blue wrench, and then
okay,
and then once they're a mod, like you can make them a standard moderator. I just have standard moderators, but there's also managing moderator. I'm not sure what the difference is. I just go with standard, and the standard ones that have the ability to delete comments if necessary. If someone says something really inappropriate or attacking someone or whatever, then they can delete the comment.
I see. Well, if somebody wants to help me mod, I can make somebody a mod. I don't mind, but I don't want to do it without asking. I don't know if he wants to moderate it, but he's welcome to it because he'd probably do a better job than I would. Because I'm trying to just get the questions here, let alone worrying about that.
I wish it were easy enough to do like right in StreamYard, but you have to have your YouTube tab open with the stream in order to do it.
I don't keep I have the YouTube tab open, but it's like on my other monitor because I'm reading you have to be on StreamYard to click them, to come on the screen. I don't think you can do that through YouTube. So
you can even do it when a stream is over. You can go back to your chat replay and click on somebody in the replay and do it that way. So you don't even have to do it during the stream.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm always learning new things. I know how to put videos up on YouTube. That has been the extent of my knowledge for the past how long.
Yeah.
Okay, Scarlett is back. Welcome back. I'm looking to see.
I had to put some cat treats in my cat's puzzle box thing so she doesn't get bored.
Oh, I see. Chris says we need to see the drawing with how short her hair is in it. That's interesting. I don't even remember what the drawing looked like. She was just laying down, wasn't she, on the couch or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, even if it wasn't like her from the future, it definitely could have just been a foreshadowing thing, like that he'll need to remember her for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She'll disappear or something.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Dieter's saying, what did he miss? We were just saying that about being moderators. I said, if people want to help me moderate, they're welcome to. But I don't know that anybody's really posting anything that needs moderated. But I'm busy trying to pick out people's things, people's comments. I was trying to see. Oh, that's you that said that. Some of the notes that I had while we're waiting for more chat comments. The one thing I wanted to talk about, Fletcher's asset. And I said, either one of you, if you want to help, you're welcome to. I can make you one. But one of the things in this episode that I kept annoying me with this, and I can't remember if I mentioned this last week. I may have. But the whole point of their protocol when they tie the people up and have their conversation with them is so they don't freak out, right? Mm-hmm. I still do not understand keeping Tabitha and Julie separated.
Right.
Like, if she had just let her see Julie, Tabitha would have calmed down.
Yes.
Or leaving Julie in the kitchen all by herself.
Get it too.
That was really, really weird. Let's let the teenager, let's take the adult to the bedroom and have a one-on-one, but let's let the poor teenager be out in the kitchen alone.
Yeah, let's just leave her sitting there.
Yeah. All these strangers.
I think that things would have calmed down a lot quicker if they had done that, and I think it would have helped everything. So yeah, I don't know. That kind of annoyed me because, I get what they're doing, but I just think it would have made more sense. Plus, we didn't even get to see what anybody told Julie about the explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, we never get to see anything that led them to establish that protocol in the first place.
No, that's something else that would be nice to know more about. I mean, like I said, I understand it. I just think that if they're points to keep them calm, that wasn't the best way to go about it.
Well, they
No, it was
kind
not.
of have a history of that with the bus too, where it's like Donna's shooting out the tire and Kenny's shooting up in the air, and they're like, "Hey, everybody, calm down!
Yeah.
Don't scatter!
You have
Don't
no
scatter.
time.
What are you
Calm the hell
doing?"
down now. So yeah.
Yeah, pointing guns at them, tying them up, and separating the mother from the daughter on top of it was just really not. It didn't make any sense at all. Julie is a minor. She's 16 on the show. Of course, they're going to be terrified and think that these people are psychos in a cult. That's not the way to win their trust at all. That made no sense.
Yeah. The thing is we don't even, until the bus comes, we don't even really see anybody like freak out, do we? I was trying to think. I don't think anybody really freaks out that we see. I mean, Tabitha did, but again, it was because she was keeping her from Julie, I think.
Yeah.
Acosta freaked out and shot a bunch of monsters before they even transformed, and then got Nikki killed.
Yeah, that's what I said. Once, just I'm meaning like season 1. I don't think we've seen anybody.
Not in season 1.
No, we didn't. What else? Let's see. You had mentioned, I know during the watch party that behind Kenny's father that there was gravestones.
Yeah.
In the
bunch of them.
When he's playing chess with
Gina.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Yeah, I had never noticed that before. I was just like, ooh, there's Halloween decorations. I wonder why. And then Julie goes, there's gravestones. Like, I missed that.
Yep, right behind him.
There's bats that are kind of like a metaphor for the vampires, which are kind of like monsters that come out at night.
Yep.
There's a lot of things. It's funny though that I guess maybe before the town went to shit, you have to wonder they actually celebrated Halloween. I don't know. Hey, Karen. She came in. You should call. Yeah, what else? I'm trying to see. I mean, there's a lot of foreshadowing. I think we said before when Kenny says, I can't find any more bodies. It's like, don't say that. Don't know whether he manifested it or not, but
yeah, I mean, if there's like fears like Nathan's fear of cicadas, like Kenny's biggest fear was finding another body. And they did.
Yeah.
Manifested.
Yeah. Speaking of, I think that a lot of things, and I mean, granted, we've talked about it before, but just about them like listening to what people say, because that's like, I think the fact that Donna's sister was skinned, and she makes a point of saying, just like the deer they always caught. Like, I think they killed her that way on purpose.
Well, there's a lot of like similarities between Donna's sister and Kenny's mom. Like the way they were tortured, the way they screamed, the way that somebody was forced to experience it. I mean, Donna was in the bushes and Boyd was right in front of her, but they were forced to experience it all night.
Yeah, it was to watch her get tortured. Yeah, definitely. But I just, the way that she says, "Oh, they skinned her just like the deer," I thought was.
Well, she is a kind of a survivalist hunter type, so.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be a metaphor.
Yeah. Karen says, what I really noticed was how great Elizabeth Saunders was in Donna's short monologue with her sister. Yeah, that was a really great monologue.
There's a
lot of good monologues. I know you like all the monologues in this one. No, but it is a good monologue. So is Kenny's, and then they get interrupted. Don't sit in the middle of the steps. That was funny.
That was like the Clowney House people were really bitchy.
Right?
I mean, to be fair, they were sitting in the middle of the chair, in the middle of the stairs. So,
yeah, it's true. But then when Nikki in the bathroom, I just think living there might not be as nice as what people think.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, how big is that house? Because like I always like there's not as much room as it makes it seem like. Like, how would all those people fit? But then I know Ellis said, "Oh, there's a room made up for you on the 3rd floor," and I thought, "There's a 3rd floor."
It's huge. Have you ever seen it like in the production video? It's huge. It's a huge house.
I mean, I've only seen what they show in the in the episode. I never really thought about it. They only show one set of stairs going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I didn't know there was 3. I mean, I'm sure there is. I just was surprised when they said
Yeah,
that.
but if you watch a production video, like I think there is one on Vimeo, they just made this huge house. It's this huge 3-story colonial house.
That's cool. What's it on? Vimeo.
Yeah, it's on Vimeo. I don't know what this is. There's got to be a link somewhere in one of the Discords for it. It's very popular.
Oh,
I need to find that.
I haven't looked. I really haven't seen much of anything behind the scenes for this show. I mean, the only thing I got is like from having, talking to the cast and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really looked for it, but I hadn't really thought about it. I need to start looking for it because I'm sure there is.
I think it's called like season 2 production or something like that. Do you know anything about it, Julie? Do you know?
Chris says it's on YouTube too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where it is though. Yeah, I've heard of that.
My link was to Vimeo, so I think if you just look around, keyword, it'll probably come up.
And that's where people got like the really clear pictures of the artwork from Victor's room and also the cave mural, which they never give you a clear view of the entire thing of on the show. But I guess that's where they got people got the images of the entire cave mural from there.
What did you call it? 12 or from season 2? What was it?
Like production reel or something like that.
Production. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just curious where we're looking to see what it.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't. There's one thing about behind the scenes, but I don't think that.
It's probably a 10-minute long video.
No, yeah, I'll find it. I just wanted
the link for you.
I just wanted to type it in so I would remember what it was you said. I'll never find it later. Let's see. I thought it was one thing I wanted to ask you guys about. I noticed that Fatima says, and I mean we know this, but she points out it's harder for them to trick you if they can't see you. That makes me wonder. We've kind of talked about before, like, do they know everything that's going on? Do they have to have spies? I mean, there's still always that possibility that somebody could be feeding them information, but you think to, the man in yellow and like the whole radio thing, it makes me wonder if they really know what's going on and they, sometimes maybe pretend they don't, or just don't, just ignore things, or if they really don't, like, are they ever, I don't know, like, can they ever talk without them listening? Or are they listening to everything they say? And if they can, is there a way to hide from them so they can't? I mean, I feel like they can't see everything, just personal opinion, because I feel like if they did see everything, then they never would have been able to run and hide from them at night unless they wanted to make them. I mean, we've talked before about maybe like they just let them go and want them to think that they have a way around it. So that could also be not true. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard theories that they're because they live under the caves, under the houses, that they can hear everything that way, being underneath the town.
Yeah, maybe it depends where they're at too. I don't know. I just wonder that they wouldn't know where they went to hide, but I guess that's not necessarily listening. I just thought it was strange where it said if they can't see you, and it makes me wonder if they can see them. And they said she said they whisper and try to get in your head, and like I said, the actual whisper sounds we haven't heard. I don't think since then. But whenever she says climb high enough, even a nightmare can look like a dream. That's where I said, again, they mentioned nightmares a couple times in this episode. But it also makes me think of that whole theory about a snow globe. Like when she says that, it makes me think of like someone looking down, not necessarily in a snow globe, but even just like the whole cabin in the woods type idea, like somebody looking down on them. And maybe that's why they know what they're doing or that kind of thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I get the sense that I feel like the big bad is kind of omniscient and can see and hear them in some way everywhere they are, but I don't know. Who knows? I mean, yeah, it's just like as far as hiding in holes. Yeah, I think that was part of the game. Like it's never been about trying to actually massacre everybody all at once. Not until the end. Like they don't get to that point till the end of a cycle. Up until that point, it's all about like terrorizing them, taking out select people at a time, and then letting the other ones suffer and milking that and feeding off of their fear, their pain. So, you know, it's about like terrorizing them. So that's why I think they didn't just, you know, find them all in the holes every night, because I think they could have if they wanted to.
There's no fun to that.
They would choose sometimes to like let them go and other times not. Like there seems to be no rhyme or reason if that's the case.
They like to hunt. That's in her monologue. They like to hunt.
It's a game to them.
It's a game to them. They like to
right. I guess I'm saying pretending they can't see them though is, I don't see how that part would be part of the game. You know what I mean? Like
I think it would be totally part of the game. It's like hide and seek.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then they don't know when they're after them, but maybe that's part of it too though. Karen's saying she thinks they can hear. You guys know or familiar by now with my theory that if you say something out loud, it happens. I definitely think things manifest when they. Although sometimes I think it may just be foreshadowing, but I do think a lot of times it seems like they manifest, or at least it feels that way. I mean, we said earlier about Kenny saying he can't see any more bodies. So.
Yep.
Though it'd been nice to have Nathan talk about cicadas somewhere along the line before he died.
Yeah, it would, right? That definitely would have helped. Boyd also makes a point of saying only way they can get in is if we let them.
Right.
And it made me think about not just like physically getting in the buildings with the talisman, if we're assuming that talisman actually work, because I know you're saying just like you think they can see them, they probably don't necessarily need to follow that. But I wonder too, like if I feel like the stuff that happened with Elgin and Sarah in a way was because like they had a weak mind, and like if they had just kept them out, maybe they wouldn't have been able to do what they did.
Yeah, they're just impressionable, and the entity feeds on weakness. Like with Elgin, it's his, his faith.
Yeah, his faith.
With Sarah, she, has had problems. It's hinted at that she's had problems before she even went to From. So it kind of just, feeds on the weak. I mean, not the weak, like they're feeble people or feeble-minded, but just they're impressionable.
It exploits certain traits.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. But that's like you think of Boyd, like now we don't know if Cautry is part of the entity or whatever. We don't really know. But you think of like how many times he's tried to convince him of things and like Boyd doesn't listen necessarily. Like I don't think they could control Boyd because Boyd does what Boyd wants, which is kind of interesting.
But that could be his fear. His fear could be that they break him.
Yeah,
that could manifest.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, same thing with Fatima. Maybe because Fatima wasn't pregnant, couldn't get pregnant. Maybe she didn't want to have a kid, and maybe that was her biggest fear.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the spitballing because I don't know. Because it is
I know, and I still want to know if she was pregnant and then Smiley hijacked it or what. I don't know that. The more I thought about that, though, I don't know that it really matters because I mean, they basically said they wanted to bring him back and they had to find a way to. So I don't know that it matters one way or another. Chris makes a point, says, wouldn't they have exploited a living Cautry if that's the case because of his faith? I don't know. That's a good question. But I feel like Cautry, I don't want to say that he didn't have blind faith. I mean, he was a priest. He still had faith without seeing things. But I feel like Nathan didn't need explanation. I feel like Cautry maybe would have. And that's
he would have questioned it.
I mean, my theory on that is that he was a chess piece from the helpful side, that he was brought there from the helpful side. He thought he heard the voice of God for the first time in his life on the night that he got to Fromville, and it told him to drive. He got there 2 hours later. To me, I think he was brought there for a helpful reason, and he did perform a service. He actually convinced Boyd to keep Sarah alive. Sarah wound up becoming a huge asset, just like he said. And then the other side was like, well, okay, I'm taking you off the board. As soon as he provided that help, minutes after, he got his throat slit. So it was almost like a chess piece move from the other side, taking him out because he was too helpful. I think he was brought there to be helpful in that way. That was his purpose. And once his purpose was fulfilled, that was it for him. People seem to get taken off the board as soon as their purpose is fulfilled, if you will, off the board.
That's like with Jim. Once they don't have a purpose, then they're gone. No, I still tend to think, though, not knowing what he is, I still tend to think that Khatri, Ghost of Khatri, whatever the heck you want to call it, the entity, I still think that version of Khatri, I want to believe, is good, because I feel like he hasn't really given Boyd any bad advice. But then again, that could be just so he trusts them, and then he could give him awful advice. I don't know, but
yeah, I'm still leaning more toward thinking Ghost Country is part of the entity, but I keep an open mind.
It could be.
The last appearance that he was on, he was more believable. It seemed like good advice not to torture Elgin. It would break him as a person. So I'm rethinking it. I'm keeping an open mind. He seemed really suspicious to me up to that point. Telling Boyd, when Boyd said, that thing that was out there in the forest telling me to give up. That thing was not my wife. So what are you? And then he's like, I'm afraid I can't answer that for you.
Or the writers don't want me to.
It was just
a figment of your imagination.
I just feel like, regardless of what Khatri is, his advice has been good. And like, if they want to break Boyd, why would they try to help him? But I mean, for all we know, he could be the boy in white talking to him. Because that's the other thing I kind of wonder too. Like, they see the boy in white. Is it possible that, like, Victor and them, they see him as a boy, but like, that's just the way they see him. And like, maybe Khatri is the boy in white, but he doesn't look like a boy to them. That would be kind of interesting. Like, maybe, I don't know, like maybe the boy in white is like a kid Victor knew that died. And then, the other one saw him that way because that's what Victor said he saw. I don't know, just spitballing.
No, he could be a shape-shifting entity. That's possible.
Yeah. Well, we know that some of the entities, at any rate, seem to be corporeal. I know that the Kimono Woman's obviously not the same thing, but we know that at least she can interact with things. I don't know if Khatri ever did. I mean, I think they interact with like furniture in the background, but other than that,
Tom has his glass.
Yeah, Tom had. Well, but it's his own glass. It's not like he took Jade's glass, so it's not quite. I don't know if that counts or not. Karen says it was unusual. Was it unusual, or no? She said it was. Okay, in this episode that we saw Christie's dream, that's not common, and for us viewers, not something the monsters do. Spiders notwithstanding. Yeah, I think hers was the first and only time we saw a dream, a nightmare, and that's why I said I think sometimes like maybe they do different things in the pilot that they've moved away from. Like bookending the episode by, teasing what's to come by showing the end of the episode first. And I think, Karen, I don't think you were here yet. We were saying earlier, I don't know if you noticed it, but at the RV, the monsters are like whispers, because it really reminded me of Lost. And I don't know if they took it out because it reminded people of that, or they just decided for whatever reason not to do it.
I don't know what the part is that says not something the monsters do. What does that mean?
Monsters do. That's not common.
I mean, other people have had nightmares in the show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think he's saying doesn't give them nightmares. Like, we don't know that they make them see things in their dreams, I assume is what she means. I'm going to guess that's what she means. If it's not, she can tell me. She'll text me and be like, no, that's not what I mean. She also said, what about Tom, also the boy in white? Yeah, I just wish, like, we knew if they're all like the same type of thing, even if they're not all the same entity, at least if we knew they were like similar things. Thanks, All City. Glad you at least came. The monsters don't see in your dreams, as far as we know. Maybe they need to have like a mass dream, and then they can talk in secret away from.
I got from it that Christy didn't really trust Jim.
Yeah, no, I could be wrong, but I think it was just a normal nightmare. It is kind of
he doesn't want to die.
Yeah, I do think it is weird though that they don't like, we don't see things like that later. But I think it was also just maybe to show what she was scared of, like just to show us. It was more like a story
Mhm.
a storytelling technique.
Yeah, she was afraid the talismans weren't going to work.
Yeah.
And then the monster came through the ceiling. Which is
Well,
interesting because Ethan says the spider came down from the ceiling.
True.
yeah. Hey, yeah, maybe it was her dream. Wouldn't that be weird? If that was part of her
that'd
dream,
be messed up.
that would be really cool. But yeah, maybe if it manifests and if you see it in your dream rather than saying it out loud, it doesn't manifest. So therefore, therefore they lived and they were okay. Let's see. I'm trying to read through my notes and like the screen is like not. It is really hard to read with that. How many have we ever counted? This is just kind of some random thought I had because I marked it down that there were 5 houses on the painting. Is that how many houses there are in town? I never really counted it.
I never counted either, but that sounds about right. I know there are not many at all. So
Yeah, it probably is. I just when I saw it in the painting, it made me wonder.
Because I feel on a Peachtree map there's more.
There might be. I don't know. It's for whatever reason it stuck out to me when I was looking at it. I'm like, there's 5 houses, and I wrote it down. I don't know why, but I wrote it down on his Adam and Eve painting. That and that weird creature on the right side that we don't know what it is. Let's see. The other things I have marked. I have a couple things marked from Donna's conversation. I thought it was interesting that she said, "How many times did you go down that road in a straight line and ended up in a circle?" I had before when I saw that thought of like if they were in some kind of like snow globe or even not that, but like I think we had talked before about like if it's some kind of like pocket universe and maybe
like
we're hitting the edges of it and it makes you like literally go in a circle. Yeah, I don't know. We know circles and cyclical stuff are very important in the show. So it was the first time anyone had spent the night away from town building since the talisman, right? So she was just afraid it was a stress dream. It might have been a stress dream. And yeah, it probably was the first time, I think. Because he does make a point of saying we don't know if it'll work in the RV. Where later, I think.
And Christy's like, it'll work. It'll work.
It'll work. Yeah, again, manifesting.
But
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you're right.
They ought to just all say, we're going home. Maybe it'll happen.
Maybe they should all just say that at once.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold hands in a circle.
Click your heels together and hold, and say you're going home. But I know later in the season he says something like enclosed spaces. So. So I don't know. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's probably just the wording of it. But I wrote down when Donna said her sister was a real character, because it made me think about how people were like, that monster's Donna's sister and all that. And maybe that means she will be a character at some point, or will be a flashback, or will be something. I don't know.
I always thought it was part of standard theater dialogue. I mean, monologues, like,
Oh, I'm sure it is. It just stuck out to me. I
can imagine them all like on a stage that has nothing but like a couple chairs and them just, having this monologue. Award-winning.
Yeah. I also marked down, she said it was 3 years, 6 months, 17 days. And she can still hear him screaming. I don't know if any of those numbers are important. I'm sure there's people that think those numbers might mean something.
Right.
1 and 6 means 7.
Yeah. 1 and 6 do mean 7. Thank you. That I got on my own. 3 and 6 mean 9 too.
Oh, yeah. Sure. And then you could add it back to you could add that. You could add that to 7, and that would be 16, and that would be 7. Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, numbers in a lot of things are important, but I never pay enough attention.
Apparently, 11's very important because Ankui has 11 letters. So figure that out. Everybody in the chat, figure out how you spell Ankui with 11
I've heard people say 7. I've heard lots of people say 7.
Well, I've heard the showrunners say 11. John Griffith said 11.
Wasn't he joking when he said it, though?
No.
Oh, okay.
He said it was an 11-letter word he made up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, I don't know. The only number I remember is, to be honest, is 96 when he erased the 96.
Yeah.
Karen says you just can't sit behind some bushes holding a talisman. You have to be in an enclosed space. What's up with that? I wonder that too. And I wish in a way they'd explain it. I know they're not just going to have them be caught out, but we know it doesn't work. Come to think of it, we do know for sure it doesn't work because of Randall. I mean, they even said it doesn't work like that. But then
Right.
it gets back to the question, is there a possibility that the talisman don't work at all and it's just all part of the game? But yeah, I still wonder that they can't make more though. I mean, I don't see why they can't just take rocks and scribe symbols on them and hang them up and it might work. But who's going to test it, right? But I mean, like,
but they could get more rocks from that special cave if
Yeah,
the
maybe.
rocks in the cave have some kind of mineral, because Sparkle Media did something about it might have a certain kind of magnetic material in it that would work like a compass and repel or attract people.
Oh, you're getting into more Lost.
Oh no, I haven't watched Lost.
You said you haven't seen Lost, right? So you don't
No, I
even know.
haven't seen it, but
No, just something
it
you
made
said.
sense to me because Yellow Jackets kind of use that a little bit
Okay.
with the compass
There's
stuff.
so many crossover in these shows, but yeah, I mean, because that would be really cool if they could make more, because they could like surround the town by like a fence, and then they wouldn't have to stay in their buildings. But I mean, we also know though that Ellis had it drawn on his jeans and it didn't do anything to help him. So
yeah,
it's gotta be.
So maybe it's the mineral itself, not so much the design.
Maybe it's a combination.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do remember that somebody said they're different. I had never noticed they were different. Like I never really thought about it.
I know there's a production picture of like 12 of them all together, but I never really took a close look.
Why 12? Then I got to say, is it 12 or are you just saying
because
it's something
12
like
is the
12?
answer? That's what
Okay, you're saying it is 12. Okay, I thought maybe
this
you
is
were
a production shot of 12, and people are saying there's 12 talismans, which I think is crazy because there's, it seems like they need more than 12.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we'd have to count them to see how many they have, but there could be more they don't know about. But like if they said like there was 7 or 8 or whatever, I would think maybe it made more sense because it has something to do with the sacrifices. But well, I'm not sure where 12 comes from.
But they have so many buildings they have to protect. I've written notes down where I'm like, they definitely need more than 12 here.
Yeah.
I don't know if they figured that out.
If you need them for all the houses, and then you need them for like the post office, the church, and the clinic, and county house, and the bus. If Randall's in the bus, it's just more than 12.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's tried to figure out before how many there should be. Karen says the answer is 42. Maybe there's 42.
Yes, exactly.
David says 11 is the number of the Antichrist, and also that in the Matrix, Agent Smith cards number 11 in his 12. 11 in his 12. 11 in his palm after being born. I don't remember that. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since I've seen that. I sort of remember it a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know a lot about numerology, so I don't know tons. Whoops. I clicked the wrong thing. Fletcher says that there's one talisman for each creature. I still don't think, do we know that all the creatures were in the cave? I don't know. I think there's more than that.
There were specific ones that were definitely missing for sure. Yeah. I don't offhand, I can't think of which ones, but yeah.
The cool mod girl, the only black monster is missing.
Yeah.
Even more well-known ones that we've seen more than once were missing. I can't think of it one offhand, but yeah.
Yeah, I wish the mod girl would come back, That'd be cool if she made an appearance. I mean, I know they can only get so many people so much, but
yeah,
be nice.
And those are
Jasmine.
Jasmine. That's true too. Those are the kind of things that I really want to. I don't have the time, and I know I'll never do it. But I wish somebody would make a guide for certain things. Like I'd love to know a list of all the different creatures that we know of, a list of all the places we think the talisman are, like those kind of things. And pictures of all the paint. I would just love if somebody would put everything together, and it would be.
Somebody did that.
I'm sure they did. They're probably in 50 different posts across Reddit.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to do research.
There's a spreadsheet with all the monsters and all the kills that they've made, like their kill count and who they killed. But no, I wish I could find it. I wish I had saved it when I saw it the first time.
Me too. With the guy
I want to see it. I want to sit down
and
all day and research. I think that From is one of the things that could really do with a use like an episode guide thing, like but then they'd probably be afraid to give out clues and it would have to be something unofficial and yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like something like what Fringe has. There's this website called Fringe Connections, and it's okay. It's safe even for first time watchers. I watched it as I was watching Fringe for the first time this year.
Hmm.
I had never seen it before, and for each episode, it gives you that kind of information, connecting everything together from what you've already seen, and it really helps you keep track of things. So I wish they would do something like that for From.
Yeah.
For
I
somebody would.
remember for Dark, I looked at this guide online just because it showed you who everybody was, and I couldn't for the life of me remember who half of them were. And then well, I don't know if everybody's seen the end of or the end of Dark. I assume everybody knows the gist of Dark. Because I remember
Scarlett's
there's like
watching now. Yeah.
okay, but like there's different it showed who everybody was in connection to everybody else, and it made it a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Muncher Luncher, Gymnasium in the house. I think we all like Jim more now that I mean I don't mean to, I was gonna say now that he's dead. That sounded awful. I mean we all now feel bad that he's gone and like in retrospect, I think
Right.
we were starting to like him at the end.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Grant. Let's see. There's actually one website that has it all. That's what Fletcher says. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like I want somebody to sit down and compile everything together in one place because somebody like me, I will never go look. It's just too much to try to find it all. And I know that like you can spend a lot of time going down those rabbit holes, but it's a lot easier when you find, all the information in one place. I wish I had the time to put it together.
Yeah.
Grant says Dark Family Tree was more like a tangled bush versus a tree. There's a lot going on in that. Fletch says, whoops, that's not Fletcher that I clicked on. Fletch says apparently there's 18 creatures on that website. I want to see the website. Thank you, Dieter. See, he's so much better at this than I am. Yes, please, if you're watching this, make sure that you take time to like and subscribe to the channel and check out Julie's channel as well, which is linked down in the description. We're approaching our 2-hour mark pretty soon. We've been here. We're almost at 2 hours. I feel like we're moving a lot slower tonight. I don't know if it's just because I have a headache or what, but it feels like we're not as quick paced as we normally are.
That's okay. I think we're
no, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, it feels like we're moving. I was gonna say, yeah. I don't for people who don't watch Dark, I don't want to put up spoilers if you haven't finished Dark, but
Scarlett will run away screaming because she's watching Dark
so I see you, Graham, but I'm not going to put it up.
Yeah.
Jim was not as annoying in this episode. That's the last time he did what he was told. Yeah, pretty much was the last time until like the last season of season 3, the last episodes when he started to get less annoying. Okay, let's see. Fletcher says, old lady creature, Jasmine, Smiley, nurse, mechanic, waitress, cowboy, librarian, mob guy. Okay. Swing coat creature, milkman, bride, cheerleader, old man, bearded man on the website. Where's the website? Give me a link.
Where's the black mob girl?
I think that's a cheerleader. Wasn't she a cheerleader?
No. She was just in a shirt with a floppy haircut.
No.
I don't rely on this list.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see them. I need to do some diving research here. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, don't look at the chat, Scarlett. I just now seen your comment. Don't look at the chat.
Yeah,
that's good.
That was to her, not to me.
I'm just gonna eat some chips and mind my own beeswax over here.
just look at the highlighted comments for now.
Please don't spoil it for me. I'm only 4 episodes in. You can talk to episode 4. Talk about it up to episode 4.
I need to start that over so I can watch the end of it. I didn't watch the end of the last season. I think I had all but the finale left, and something happened, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get to it. And then by the time I went back to watch it, I had forgotten half of it, and I'm like, I really got to watch the season again.
Yeah.
There, Grant removed the comment, so now you don't have to worry about it. Thank you. That was helpful. Oh, that reminds me. We know now too that all those after we talked to the producers, we know that those leaks were full of shit since they haven't written anything yet. So when you guys see leaks now, you know that they're not really front stuff the writers wrote. So at least that's one good thing, right?
Yeah, that's so ridiculous. Someone saying like, "Oh yeah, this is what's gonna happen in season 4 from." Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that whole thing, like that, I don't know if you've seen the videos. I was curious what it was, so I watched part of it. Somebody put up the supposed script leaks, and the thing was, not only was the voice AI and did they break it into like 1,000 different videos, but I think the story they wrote, it sounded like it was AI extrapolated from what's happened so far and made something up. Like they said, write me another season, and that's what they got, and they're trying to get hits from it.
I think that's probably right.
Yeah. Karen says maybe Smiley counts twice. That's funny.
Yeah, maybe.
In my heart of hearts, Smiley always counts twice, maybe more than twice.
Yeah.
You and Smiley. That's funny. Let's see. What else? Chat isn't as active either tonight. Maybe that's the reason. I'm at the end of the chat. Since when am I caught up with the chat? What about, I know one thing we didn't talk about, is that, we sort of mentioned it when you said about Christy's dream, but Ethan, when he says he saw the Lake of Tears and he saw the pictures drawn of his family and that a spider came down from the ceiling, what do you think that meant? I mean, do you think, oh, no, I did not put the StreamYard link in the chat. Sorry, guys.
I just noticed that now.
You know, at one point I was gonna do it, and I remembered, and then I forgot again because we started talking. But then again, to be fair, I didn't send you the link till 10 minutes before when Charlotte. I don't have the StreamYard link, so
yeah,
that's how much I remember to do it.
I just looked at my YouTube tab and I noticed it, so I just now saw that.
I don't know why. I should have pasted it. Sorry, I should have pasted it in. I'm going to repaste that again. If you see it twice, it's because I'm putting it in StreamYard, so that way people who aren't on YouTube will still see it. If people want to call in and join us and tell us what you think, you may do so. Go check it for yourself. What was the go check it for yourself? Is that what that's talking about, looking up stuff, or is that about dark? I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Oh no, Karen,
I'm not looking at the chat.
Dog creature, bow tie creature, tough guy creature, 18 maybe. Yeah. I want to go check it for myself, but I don't know where the website is. I'll say it again.
And still not the Black Mod Monster.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Why the prejudice?
I just wish I had time to figure some of that out.
There was a guy listed them all and had pictures and included her, but I could not find that on Reddit. It's just a bunch of links with pictures.
It's just funny because I remember when we used to do for Lost, when we did the ARG they had, although the ARG we did, a lot of it was in an official ARG, but I just remember how many hours we'd put in to do researching stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I was a lot younger then. I had more time on my hands. Grant says, have you seen the clock theory? Someone noted every single time that is shown on the show, the only clock that is 24 hours was the ambulance. No, I have not seen that. Have you guys seen that theory?
No, that I have not seen. That's interesting. I know there are people that are really
24-hour.
Yeah.
I don't know what 24-hour means.
Yeah, I don't know.
I assume maybe he means military time. It's probably digital and it's 13 o'clock or whatever. At least that's what I'm assuming he means. I could be wrong. I don't remember.
All I know is that Geek Academy has some videos about the clocks and how they're on 10 a.m. and then the one moves to 1 or 2 or something like that, but they don't seem to work like regular clocks.
Yeah, every other clock is. Go check it for yourself. Wasn't for the panel. It's okay, Fletcher. I'm used to people tell me that. I'm thinking Karen usually would have been go look yourself, Jamie. Don't ask me. No. No, I just meant I can't check it because I don't know what the link is. I actually would like to check it, but I wish they'd release a book. That would be cool. Speaking of that, I think I keep forgetting to do it, but I think I'm gonna get that script. I think I am. I keep meaning to make the bid, and I keep forgetting to do it. I'm not going to try now. I'm going to end up like I was trying to order something earlier while I'm talking to you guys, screwing things up. But so I want to see the difference.
Yeah, I want to read that script. I want to read that script too.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting it, reading it, and then maybe doing a giveaway later on after I've read it. then other people can read it. So Ethan with the Lake of Tears. Karen, you need to call in and talk to us. So Ethan with the Lake of Tears, how close was he to death, and did that allow him a premonition, like being in gray area in between? I never really thought about it as him necessarily being near death. I assumed it was just a vision, like, the other people's had vision, but he was asleep. So I don't know. Do you guys think he was close to death? I hadn't really thought about it. He could have been.
Well, the seizure.
Yeah.
It seems like seizures bring upon visions.
Yeah.
That was a simple
It was a seizure, I think.
Yeah, but he was pretty close to death. I mean, he was seizuring and had a piece of wood through his leg.
Yeah, no, I mean, he could have been, but they also, it seems like, heal faster. I also kind of wonder too, like, especially if the town and or the entities control people, like, do you think they'd let somebody die that easy if it wasn't from something they caused? Like, that would be too easy, right? Like,
that's true. Yeah.
But
that's a good point.
But Karen's right, though, the seizure, we know other people that have had visions have had seizures too. So it could have had absolutely nothing to do with him being hurt. It could have had to do with him having the vision.
Yeah. Yeah. But it does seem like the town doesn't want Ethan to die. Like, it has a purpose that has maybe a point to him, because his leg healed really fast too. So maybe, yeah.
I still go back to the comment when we asked the producers, I think it was AJ asked how long they had been at the town, because we keep getting different answers. And they said that they can't tell us because people experience the time different. I want to know if they were like, they might have just been joking when they said that, because it totally was hard to tell. But I think it would be really interesting if they were serious, though, and that time is like that wonky that it changes depending on what's going on or who they are. I don't know.
Well,
I tend to think they were joking, or they meant that the fans look at it different. But I don't know. Okay, thank you, Fletcher. He posted the link in Julie's Discord. I'll have to check it out after.
Lizzie from What is From Cast has a pretty extensive list of when people come into From and how much time has elapsed.
Yeah, we need a timeline, a really detailed timeline, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think pretty soon I'm going to have to move. I think it's bad we sit for, like, at least me. I don't know if you guys get up. I know Julie probably doesn't enough, but I don't. I sit in one place and then, like, I start to hurt and I'm like, well, you should be moving.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
And then I remember, like, after I start to hurt,
Mm-hmm. Well, we can all take 1 minute break, so I can walk up and down the stairs a couple times and you guys can do what you need to do.
Yeah. I'm going to have to take a potty break in a minute anyway. Let's see. Karen says, Julie, do you think the town can keep you from dying versus not just killing you?
Yeah, I think that it can. The fact that it has the fast healing properties, I think it can. Yeah. There's like a bigger plan for Ethan, so his leg healed fast. Whereas, interestingly, in season 2, after the house fell on Jim, he didn't seem to heal very fast. He was limping around for the whole season. And then we know he wound up dying in season 3. So maybe the town picks and chooses who gets the fast healing and who doesn't, depending on what their role is.
Well, having his throat split open, though, was, I think, harder to heal though from than other things, maybe.
Well, yeah, I don't mean that. Yeah, but like,
okay. I thought you meant when he put his
Jim
throat.
wasn't supposed to. No, Jim wasn't supposed to make it to the end.
Yeah,
so
no,
the
I know
town
what
didn't
you
bother.
mean.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean now. I thought you meant when he slit his throat. That's
No.
like Chris healed. And it's funny because this is a town that they don't even have real, I mean, not that in a lot of these kind of shows they have real doctors. Don't get me wrong. Most of the shows they don't have real doctors. A lot of times they're veterinarians, here they're nurses. But like some of the things that happen, like I don't think they could necessarily survive or do okay. Like, I mean, Fatima having a baby, I mean, women do die in childbirth, but to be fair, women have been having babies for, millennia. So it's not like a woman can't have a baby without there being doctors and everything else. So she could have. But, Ethan's leg, I don't know, Christy's foot, like there should have been major infection. And I don't know if that's just something like they didn't want to bring into the show or if that's like to do with the healing, because they never made a comment like, oh, you got to take antibiotics, which I feel like maybe they should have said something.
It's the healing waters are from.
Yeah. Like,
everybody drinks a lot of water.
Oh God, we're lost references. I'm just gonna like not go there. Sorry, I shouldn't even say things like that because I'm like spoilers. But no, I mean, like, why not say something like, I have a shot of penicillin or something for you? And I think that's why they have, the ambulance came and now they have some more medicine. But
well, I think it's part of the game too. You can't play around with people unless you heal them up.
Yeah, they need to be in top shape to run away. Right?
Yep. Exactly.
Grant said the Faraway Tree series is a beloved collection of children's fantasy books that has fairies and transportation and holes and trees and talisman. I wonder if there's any relevance to the show. I was reading some about that because somebody had mentioned that before. And it's, I guess, from people who had read it. And again, I didn't read the book, so I don't know. But it seemed like people were saying that there was a lot of things in it that could have significance to the show. I tend to think personally that whatever they did, I think they took here and there and here and there. I don't think that like finding one reference is going to give you like huge answers. You know what I mean? Like I think they pulled from a million different places because I feel like it would be too easy just to read a book and get an answer. And I'm not saying that's what Grant meant. I'm just saying like I think people are looking for answers, outside of it. And I don't know that they would, but maybe you can find like some interesting,
you can find some interesting books to read and things.
Yeah, and then you learn things. As I feel like I think that was the book somebody had said something like about there being a flood, and then they got into that discussion again, if I remember rightly. But like I said, I haven't read it, so
I have to get it from the library because I got a copy of Lake of Tears by Emily Rada from the library, and that was interesting.
That's cool.
Because I had a character named Jasmine in it, and she had a raven, and I thought it was kind of an interesting correlation.
Cool. Which, by the way, Donna does say in this episode crows. You said raven, and you made me think I think at one point we said, is it ravens, is it crows?
They're definitely crows. They're small.
I was going to say, though, to be fair, just because she said it doesn't mean that's what it is, but yeah.
Well, crows are the size of a pigeon, and ravens are the size of a big hawk.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know they have a different beak, and I never know what the difference is.
Yeah, and they're a little fluffier. The ravens are kind of fluffy, and they mimic. Ravens mimic, and I mean, maybe crows mimic, but I don't think so.
I don't know. Ant says, I wonder if any of the monsters are related to Tabitha or Jade back from when it all started. Maybe that's why they didn't hurt them when they had the chance. That's interesting.
It's possible.
I guess it would depend if those versions of them had family that was, brought to the town. I mean, it's definitely possible.
Or all the dudes are Tabby's husbands.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all Tabby's husbands.
It's like a reverse harem.
Yeah. Somebody needs to write just like a total crack fic on that about all her husbands.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's saying one of them could be Tabitha or Jade's brother or sister or cousin from the beginning. It's definitely possible. I hadn't really thought about that, but it's definitely possible.
Especially like colonists that came over. There might be a whole family.
Yeah, there could be a whole. Hey, AAMM, hello. Grant says, would like to know your thoughts on the significance of the candy bar moving company, condom. There was a condom wrapper and travel agency all have similar names to what we
What?
have in the real world. I don't remember a condom wrapper. I remember a candy bar and a moving company. I don't know about a condom wrapper.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe candy wrapper. I thought there was a candy wrapper, but I don't know.
There is a candy wrapper, yes.
Yeah, I don't know about the condom wrapper, but did they have names that are similar to real world? I didn't know, like, don't think about them being similar to real world, but I know they have specific names.
Well, the candy bar was Cosmic something. I can't remember exactly.
Something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rendezvous.
I don't know. County House condoms. I don't know.
There's something there with soda. Didn't somebody have a soda pop or something?
Yeah, what's the name of the soda, Julie?
Creelman's Cola.
Creelman's.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure what those are. I'm not sure that those sound like real similar to real world to me, but I mean, I think it has to do with the web maze, or that they started somewhat.
This is the thing that worries me a little bit about this whole subject. So the Matthews and Geek Academy pointed this out. You know, the Matthews came to town with things that have real brands on it, like bubbly
and Ritz crackers.
Ritz crackers, bubbly drink. But in town, in Fromville, there's nothing but fake brands. Creelman's Cola, for example, Rendezvous. So it makes you worry a little bit. Like, is this a fake place and it's all somebody's dream or a simulation or
something? It could be a simulation, yeah.
I don't think it is. I'm not saying I think it is, but I hope not.
Well, if you can read the labels, then it's not a dream.
Yeah.
That's from Doctor Who. You can't, the stuff you read. Let's see. Aunt said, I went off that though. To answer your question, I don't know. I didn't know they were similar to the real world names that I know of. But
I mean, there's bound to be some candy bar that has the word Cosmic in it somewhere in the world.
Probably. But I don't, none that
I can't remember the name of the travel agency.
I don't know. The only one I remember outright is Rendezvous. That's the only one I remember.
Because they had that bulletin board that's advertising getting away, but I can't remember what the travel agency is called.
Right. I wonder, did anybody try, like, I know that people followed for the ARG. They followed the address that was on that article that was on Henry's computer. And also there was that sticker too that had something. I don't know what was on the sticker. Maybe that was
the World's Fair.
Yeah. So I wonder, has anybody tried Googling, like forget actual websites. Has anybody tried Googling, probably, but just, I don't know about it, but Googling those brands and seeing if they pop up anywhere, because maybe there's more of an ARG that we haven't found the links to. Because I know, like, I mean, I tend to think, I could be wrong. I tend to think that if it's an official ARG, we probably haven't, just because usually when it's something official like that, they're not going to make it so difficult. Even people like us that go really deep would have trouble finding, just because the point of it is to advertise, to get people in it. And they may usually make certain things for, like, the average viewer. So I don't know that there could be, but it would just be interesting if, like, there's something that nobody found, and I wonder if people have Googled the actual, like, names, because I definitely haven't.
Knowing this fandom, probably.
I guess it just didn't really care that much.
I don't know. I just only went by the part of that I found, which we've talked about.
I mean, the Cosmic Candy Bar could easily be like, astral
or it could
projection,
just be like the Apollo bars. Maybe it's going to be a merchandising thing later.
I mean, like the hotel sign, Star Magic. I mean, that could all be interconnected.
Yeah,
but spitballing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not sure an ambulance is full of penicillin. Maybe some, but it's not designed for treatment beyond minutes or hours. But this is TV. That's a good point. But there might be some kind of antibiotics. I would hope that they'd put antibiotics on an ambulance, but you're right. Like, no, but that's totally true. An ambulance is not for that. It's kind of like, it makes me think of Torchwood, which I know you guys, if you haven't watched Doctor Who, I'm sure you haven't watched Torchwood either. But there's this, one of the mini series is about that people can't die. Like, I mean, they can't die no matter what, can't die. Because it's kind of like the opposite of, usually Jack can't die. Now everybody can't die. But anyway, they start in the hospitals they do the opposite of what people normally do, that they try to treat like the things that are longer to get them out of the hospital rather than like a triage where you're worried about the people that are going to die right away because they're trying to, you know, there's too many people. But it makes you think, like, normally if there's an emergency, there is going to be things that are for people who are dying at that moment. What kind of things do they need? Like something to restart their heart, that kind of thing. And she's right. There probably wouldn't be. I never really thought about it, but there wouldn't be a lot of antibiotics because what would be the point? They're going to get the whole point of an ambulance is to get you to the hospital. Although, to be fair, I could still see them saying they got antibiotics off the ambulance because most people, like even me, up until this minute, would never think about that. So yeah.
I didn't know they had ultrasounds in ambulances.
I didn't know they did either, but it makes sense if a mother's having an emergency with her baby.
Yeah.
Like woman,
I mean, because of your point of getting to the hospital as fast as you can, you would have the ultrasound at the hospital, not in the ambulance. But
no, but they could be checking to see if what's going on with the baby. And really, to be fair, people have ultrasounds for reasons other than babies too. I mean, they could be looking at an organ.
Oh, I know from firsthand experience.
Yeah. So do I. I had polyps looked at that way, so I know. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, they might need to see, you know, inside of people.
Yeah.
That makes sense. AA says, do you guys think we'll get to go back into Colony House's basement next season? They had so much down there. I wonder what else is down there. I don't know. That's one of those things where I think it's like, I feel like there's more down there, but it may be one of those things that it's just like little, like joke thing. You know what I mean? To make us wonder type of thing. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I kind of like to see their. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Julie. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I think there might be more to it, but I don't know. I feel like they just put that in there to introduce the creepy camera, and that was it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to see that like clothing room that they have. They always reference this clothing room, and I like to see all the clothes for the different eras that are there. But you probably want that's more like up in the attic.
Yeah, I think it was more just like a fun thing, but I would definitely like to see what's down there. That's something that would be good to put in the ARG, like some kind of like, you know, hidden thing to show it, like reveal things like that. That would be cool. But yeah, I think probably not. And I'm laughing in my head at Ants. I know he just made a spelling mistake, but Chrombuckle. Maybe Chrombuckle.
The Chrombuckle.
Yeah. They're not ravens. Oh my God. I just can't. This is completely off base and has nothing to do with anything, but I just got to make this comment because it cracked me up so bad earlier today. We were having a conversation at dinner. Okay. The Steelers were playing, which is Pittsburgh. That's where we're at. And my dad asked the waitress if she knew what the score was because they had the game on, like on one of the TVs, but they had turned it off because it had said like it was trying to connect to what do you call it, mirror, whatever, Apple Play or whatever, and it had gone off. And he asked her, and we started this conversation, and she asked who they were playing against because she didn't know. And he said the Ravens. And I said, I remembered Karen saying that something about you're going to the game and you wouldn't enjoy it. And I don't remember exactly what you said, Karen, but I'm like thinking, why would she say that? Because she's a Ravens fan. And then finally I realized he meant the Eagles. And like, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens are not the same thing. You can see how much football we watch, you know, as a family. Which I don't know. It made me laugh because I'm like, I knew Karen wouldn't have been like, I don't want to watch Baltimore.
I thought Baltimore Ravens was a pretty spot on name for a team, though.
I don't know. I don't know anything really about football, but I knew they were two different teams.
No, but Poe being in Baltimore and the Ravens, you know.
Wait, what?
It's a Poe reference.
Oh. I didn't know I don't know where he's from. I mean, I know.
Oh, he's from Maryland.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know about the Raven, but I didn't know where he's from. Actually,
I mean, we're talking from and Poe's from, so it kind of connects. And Ravens
connect. I didn't know where he was from, but Raven's been one of my favorite poems for a long time. I love that poem. They seem to have condoms with all the stuff in Colony House. I think if they didn't have condoms, we would have more smileys.
I need to have
Oh, yeah.
somebody have a link to a picture of this because I have no idea where this condom is.
No, I don't know. He's saying
Yeah.
smiling condoms, but Ozzy says, but I'm guessing that's probably a joke. I don't know. I don't remember. Karen has a point that they might just have different names because of legal. But if they had real life
Yeah.
brand names at the beginning, that makes me wonder that maybe it's more than that. And if I find it, it could be a Vincent Madison thing. Yeah, that's why I was saying I wonder if it's a ARG. But yeah, you're right. If we find something, it could be something somebody else is running rather than officially. When she says Vincent Madison, that was the unofficial web maze.
The
ARG.
official.
Unofficial. Well, it was like a big one. It was better than the official one that we were all part of at the time. I still say web maze because back then they didn't really say ARG very often. So when I say web maze, I mean ARG.
Yeah.
Grant says there is the ambulance that has Troy written on it. Could have been on a supply run. I wonder. Fletch is what I was just going to say. What does Troy mean? I wondered what that was that it meant, and I didn't know.
It is an acronym. I can't remember what it means.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
talking
either.
about Baltimore. Tien Chen's basement stash. Not. I assume she means in the diner, in the storage. Yeah, I would also like to see in them. Yeah, giant ravens. Yeah, that's cool. But that wasn't what he was talking about. He was talking about the Steeler game, which was not ravens. Julie dressing those 90 clothes was foreshadowing Julie's story walking into Teen Victor's. Oh God. Oh my God. Okay. Victor was not a teen in the 90s. I just have to say. I don't know if he didn't really figure that out or just said that, but Victor was definitely not a teen in the 90s.
No.
No. I was a teen in the 80s and the 90s, and I'm not as old as he is. So no. Let's see. I thought that they raided Tien Chen's basement the same episode she died. They did go in it whenever Sarah went in it for the dress, but beyond that, I don't know. And was it the food? Okay, wait. You guys are talking about two different things, I think. Karen said Tien Chen's basement stash, but I assumed she meant the storage room. A's talking about the actual basement where the food was. Maybe I'm not sure which Karen meant. I was talking about the storage room. I think the basement, was just food, wasn't it?
Which the basement of
the actual basement at the house. I think that at Tien Chen's house, I think that was just food.
I think that was just food.
Yeah. I assumed that Karen meant the storage room, but she may have meant the basement. Maybe I misunderstood it.
Right.
It will connect. Michael, it'll connect nevermore. Let's see. Mackie says, I think he was talking about the candy wrapper, not the condom wrapper. That's what I said. Maybe I don't know if he maybe made a typo or what, but he did have written there chocolate bar too, so I wasn't sure. Young adult Victor's timeline in 78, he was 10. Yeah. That sounds a little better there. And Grant says to rescue our young. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Probably something I should know that I'm missing. To rescue our young. Is that something to do with Poe that I haven't heard of?
Troy.
Oh, Troy. Oh, yeah. To rescue. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's what it stands for? Why would that be on the side of an ambulance?
There's Detroit, Michigan, too. I was looking up the ambulance.
That's weird that would be on an ambulance, though, to rescue our young.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery show.
Yeah. I just mean in addition to...
Well, they have another ones, like they reminisce of youth or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. You probably have to look up what it means specifically for an ambulance. I just mean in the addition to the Colony House basement, I want to see more of what Tien Chen stashed, wherever that may be. It might have been a bit. You started to talk and then you went off. Did you get knocked off or did you just mute yourself? Hello?
No, I'm looking up this ambulance and sending you a photo of.
Oh, okay.
Sending.
To rescue our young, to rescue our kids.
So you know what we're talking about.
Okay. Where are you sending it? Discord?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see it. I gotta save it on the computer. But that's interesting, though, to rescue our young, maybe about
Yeah, some people thought it was
to sacrifice kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's also a town in Michigan. It's by Detroit. I was looking up Troy, Michigan, trying to figure out if their name was an acronym that they used.
Yeah, maybe it has to do with the town. I don't know.
It's not the best picture. It's what I could grab.
No, I've seen the ambulance. I didn't realize you just meant the picture of the ambulance. Yeah, I just don't know why.
Okay.
Like, I don't know why it would mean to rescue her. I mean, I'm not. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not sure if to rescue our young is something that's an anagram to, or if it's really an anagram and used on ambulances. Because I'm not sure why they would put that on the side of an ambulance if it meant that, unless they could put it on the side of an ambulance in from, because it has meaning. But like in real life, I don't know why it would say that if that's what it's.
Or it was from Troy, Michigan, and then somebody just put dots in there.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
True too. That's true too. Still just waiting for everyone in the show to notice the giant map in Victor's box truck, like when they're literally looking right at it. But maybe it might not be part of the quest yet. Yeah, right? It would be nice if I'd say something about it and get a really good screenshot of it. Oh, I made up the. And we're all talking about it like he's totally right. Okay.
Made up one about the ambulance.
That's funny.
I
don't know. Yeah, I type it in and all I get are things from coming up about what it means, or Troy, New York. It could
Troy, Michigan.
It looks like an acronym though, the way it is in the picture.
Well, the only thing I was thinking Troy, Michigan, because they never really tell you how Christy got there.
Yeah,
she could have been the first ambulance.
Or Troy, New York, like I said. But the thing is I would think that if it was for a town, it wouldn't have the dots in between it. Because that to me is a acronym for something, not. I believe someone had to draw that Troy in from Vilmont outside in the rural world. I don't know. They never told where that ambulance came from. I would think it would make sense that it might have been Christie's, but somebody said before that Christy came in a bus, right?
No, it doesn't say anything. The only thing is like the missing poster. That says she was traveling from Detroit.
So she could have technically been traveling in an ambulance, although I don't know that I would call that traveling. Trauma response makes sense, but yeah, I don't know. It must not be a real world thing. It must just be a from thing. So yeah, I don't know. You guys talk a second. I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to get up for a minute and I will be right back. So you guys talk.
Okay.
So you've seen the picture of the ambulance?
Yeah. Okay. I never knew what that could mean. The Troy thing. Yeah. I never understood that. Like, it just looks strange. Like it's.
Yeah.
I've never seen an ambulance with an abbreviation like that on it.
But I could see a town like Troy, Michigan, making their name like a cool acronym. You know, for the city, for the city image.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
I feel like it makes sense with Troy because Christy would be in Michigan, as opposed to Troy coming in a different way. But I have no idea how Christy got there. She could have came in on a horse.
Right. I mean, it makes sense to me. I always just assumed that she came in on that ambulance because she's a third-year med student. So I always made that assumption, but they never told us. But the fact that there's a Troy, Michigan, and she came from Michigan would make perfect sense for that.
It's really close to Hell, Michigan, Julie.
Oh, well, yeah.
And all those people that had theories that from was Hell, Michigan.
Oh, jeez. Oh, not
because
that.
They said they were in Hell, and it's like, yes, Hell, Michigan.
Yeah.
They have a really nice putt-putt course.
Right. Well, And now the showrunner specifically said it's not purgatory, so that doesn't mean it's hell. That doesn't mean that it's not hell, though. That doesn't rule out the hell theory, but I sure hope not. I mean, I feel like that wouldn't make any sense. Purgatory, maybe, but hell with a child, why would a child be sent to hell? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't understand that theory. I don't believe that.
It's a fun city to go to. I mean, you can actually pay to be mayor of hell for a day.
Yeah.
They have a little library that's full of, like, you know, A Season in Hell and Dante's Inferno, and I thought it was hilarious. The books they had in there. Yeah.
That doesn't sound entertaining. I like that.
Well, it's really campy. It's a complete touristy thing to do.
Nice. Why is it even called that? Why would you name a city or town hell?
It's a German word. It means like hills or something in German. Or Dutch. I can't remember exactly. It stems from a word for just something geographical around there.
Right.
Well, they took it, and now they have a cottage industry.
And Mr. Craig Gregory said on a horse with no name. And exactly. He said Christy rode an alabaster dragon in.
I was thinking that somebody would eventually ride in on something that wasn't a car, be it a boat or a plane or a horse.
I think they said, didn't they say they're not dead as opposed to not just they're not in hell? I think they said they're not dead too on one of those streams.
I didn't see all of them yet. That would be great. I would love that if they said that. The one that I watched, they said it's not purgatory and it's not a dream. It was E-Man's thing. So.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it was ours. I thought one of them they said they're not dead, or they said it's real or something like that. But I might be mixing up what the writers said on that Lost thing too. But I thought they said they weren't dead. But I'm not 100% positive. So. Christy is wearing a paramedic shirt. Paramedic. What the heck is that word that I just said? Paramedic shirt, which gives way to the idea that she came on the ambulance, but I guess she also could have grabbed the shirt. She could have been wearing the shirt, though, like on her way to work or something, too, and not been in an ambulance necessarily. Christy was a third-year medical student engaged to Marielle. On August 6th, she was traveling from Detroit to Grand Rapids. Christy became trapped in the township. That's on the website. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I assumed that maybe she was in the ambulance, but I don't know. Okay, Michael said, interview said, not purgatory, not dead, not a dream. And Karen said, yeah, that's what she thinks. I thought that was on ours. That's what they said. I just didn't want to people quote me if I was wrong. But everybody's saying, even Grow and Thrive is saying, yes, they said they're not dead. So, yay. But that's what I thought too, that they said they weren't dead. Hey, just me. Cromanuckle says it makes sense she came on an ambulance. You know, sometimes I call him Fletcher and sometimes I call him Cromanuckle. I tend to abbreviate people's names when I'm reading it. But yeah, so not dead, not a dream. So we know it's real. That means not a nightmare too. Same difference.
Yeah, nightmare creatures, confusion.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, though, it could still be that they're alive and it's in the real world, but the monsters came out of a nightmare.
Or it could be what me and Julia were talking about. It's not about purgatory. It's about hell. It's not about a dream. It's about a nightmare.
Right.
I don't think they would do that. I would hope not. I mean, I guess it's possible, but I would hope not.
That'd be so sneaky.
Yeah. It's funny how Christy was going from Detroit to Grand Rapids and Mariel was on bus on the way to Detroit for a very
and then I guess small town girl.
Yeah, well, they were probably maybe they were trying to get to each other. I don't.
They took a midnight train going. Never mind.
No, I know.
Just a city girl born and raised in South Detroit.
What was I going to say? Oh,
my singing's so bad at this that I don't think there'll be a copyright issue.
Well, we can't pay for a copyright issue anyway, so don't get in trouble. Detroit to Grand Rapids is kind of far.
It's not super far.
Bus.
I live there, so it's not very far.
I was going to say, I'm not sure how far it is.
No, it's like an hour and a half. Detroit, I mean, a bus might be longer. But it's not
a bus probably longer, but buses will go pretty far too. Depends what it's for. AA got cut off, was saying it's crazy that one was leaving and one was going. Now they're both missing. Well, yeah, that's why I said maybe like they were on their way to each other and like, I don't know.
Yeah, but they're at different times, I think. Because I think she's been there for 6 months.
Yeah, but like maybe she was looking for her. And then she got
that would be that would look, I found you.
Yeah, I know. That would kind of suck, right?
Ta-da!
I was gonna say I'm looking at my notes. One of the things I wrote down, and I don't know if it has meaning or anything, but Kenny makes a point of saying that when they drove home with his father on the way to the town, that they got it. So he kept thinking they got a second chance.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe some of people coming here, like if it could be like positive, other than like all the death and everything. I mean, like if there was something in their life they needed, or something that needed to change, or that there's a reason. Like you think of like how Ethan had said, you know, when everybody was scared that he liked it better because they were all kind of together. And I forget exactly what he said. You guys probably remember, but he made that comment. That makes me think of that. Let's see. Marielle was going to rehab. You're right. She was going to rehab. I forgot about that.
And it had a butterfly on it. I thought it was funny.
What had a butterfly?
They'll go for the rehab center.
Oh.
There's a lot of butterfly images throughout from.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Trying to remember what else is a butterfly. I know there is, but I don't remember like where it was that I've seen it in there.
Sarah has a bunch of pictures on her wall of butterflies.
Sarah has, okay. But I mean, to be fair, butterfly makes sense for a logo for that.
Yeah.
Like transformation or whatever. Muncher says, I think Boyd will play a much larger role in this than all people think. This season placed a lot of weight on Tabby and Jade, but Boyd will put strong in season 4. I hope so. I mean, I hope they do more of Boyd. I mean, I really like the Tabby and Jade storyline, but I would like to see something else next season.
I like a little bit more Donna action.
Yeah, that would
I
be
don't think Donna had much to do in season 3.
She didn't. I'm also, I mean, I like Jade more than Tabitha, but yeah, I would like to see more of Donna and Boyd. I definitely think we need more of that.
Yeah.
And Grant says to rip open you.
Right. So Smiley drove the ambulance in.
Yeah. Fletch says, I think season 4 is Boyd's last season. I hope not.
That'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah. I'm stretching as I'm talking.
I always feel like Boyd's the one that has true plot armor out of anybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe he'd die at the end, but he'd be there till the end.
I kind of feel like that too, but I don't know. But Karen's saying he could die and still be on the show like Katri and Tom. Although I don't see Boyd manifesting as anyone's conscious. Yeah, I'm not sure at this point if I would either. But yeah, I mean, he definitely could die. I don't see it happening, but he could. But I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah, no. He's going to make it till at least the series finale, I would say. And then maybe he could go out here in a heroic way in the series finale.
And then he's riding a pony on a boat and sailing through the ruins.
And then the ship sinks. Home. Then the ship sinks. The end. Roll credits.
He's a sinks, the pony falls, and goes in the water. He's like, I made it, I made it. Then it's like,
and then he dies. That's the boy needs to make it to the end, even if he doesn't make it out. Yeah. I just hope whatever the ending is, that it's good. Doesn't necessarily have to be happy. I just want it to be a good ending. I mean, I'd like for it to be happy, but just needs to be good.
I just don't want it to be everybody gets wiped out except Ethan. I don't want that ending.
No, please, God, no.
Yeah. I want some people to have a happy ending. Maybe not everybody has a happy ending, but maybe a couple of the characters too.
Yeah. Well, Karen said he could die and be a sacrificer for Ellis or Kenny, which could be possible. Fletcher also says maybe he would die and show up to Kenny or Ellis. And let's see. Fletch says, I think this season foreshadowed a lot Boyd's death, even in his conversation with Kenny and Ellis. But I'm not saying I want Boyd dead.
Like kind of a natural death because of Parkinson's.
I tend to think that's like I said about I didn't think they'd let Ethan die from his leg wound. I don't think they're going to let him die from Parkinson's. Although his Parkinson's, though, him and Christy even said like that would be years from now. So I don't think they're going to go that route unless they like time jump pretty far. I don't know. I do kind of agree with that statement though. Like I feel like there's certain things that they've done to Boyd which could foreshadow his death. Like nothing overtly specific, but just the way this season went. But I still don't think that he's going to. I don't like I could see that some of those things maybe referenced it, but I just don't see it happening. At least not right now. Grant says they all get rescued, and on the way back, the rescuers are like, we got to pull over. There's a tree in the road. Oh, that would suck so bad.
Yeah.
If they do that, they're getting my hate mail.
Yeah, there'll be a riot if that happens.
Yeah. Mackie agrees that Donna should do a lot more. Hopefully she doesn't do so much that she dies. Yeah. I don't want Donna to die either. I like Donna. And Grant says, I don't think they can actually kill Boyd. That's why they're messing with him. You know, we've kind of talked before about like, are there certain people that they can't kill and there's rules they're not allowed? And I don't know if I think that or not. Do you think that there's certain people they can't kill?
Maybe. Maybe there are certain people they can't. Maybe there's certain people that they just don't want to. I think in Victor's case, they don't want to. That's why they literally like let him come down in the cave and take the dummy and just leave. It just gave him a little threatening warning. If you keep coming down here one of these times, we might make you stay. But they let him do that, and they let Victor live all these decades, even when he was alone in the town. I think that was for a purpose, to kind of use him as a puppet. Not in, he doesn't know that he's being used, but I think they used like whatever evil entity there is used him to take advantage of his trauma, because he was always telling people to stop looking for answers, stop trying to find a way out, and he was trying to protect them, but it also worked well for the big bad that doesn't want them doing those things.
Yeah.
So I think he was protected. So certain people, I think that there's like a grander purpose for. They don't want to kill them.
Right. That's kind of, I think, like maybe don't want to, but I don't know about can't. I don't know. And Karen says, yes, I think there are people they can't kill, or only Man in Yellow can kill. That's a good point. Like, I still think that I think you said you think Man in Yellow is middle management. I think Man in Yellow is the big bad, or at least the next level of big bad above what we've seen. I mean, maybe not like the ultimate big bad, but
right.
Middle management then?
No, I mean, there could be more big bad. I'm not saying there is. I'm saying I think he's either the big bad or the biggest bad we've seen so far, I guess is more what I mean.
Okay.
When you guys say middle management, I got the opinion that you meant middle of like what we've seen. Maybe I misunderstood what you meant then.
Yeah, that's what I thought that you were saying, is that there's a bigger bad above him, and then there's kind of like the monsters that are minions.
Yeah, no, I think he's definitely the biggest bad we've seen. Whether there's something above him, I don't know. But yeah, when you guys said middle, I assumed that you meant you thought either the cicadas or the monsters were above. Well, I knew you didn't think the monsters were above him, but I thought maybe like you meant you thought the cicadas or something were above him, so I wasn't sure.
Well, whatever entity is, doing the music box cicada thing is pretty middle management as well. Kimono lady, midwife.
Yeah, see, I tend to think he's above all them.
Okay.
I think he could be the biggest bad just because, like, we're far enough in the show. I've said before, I think maybe he's just supposed to be like a form of the devil even. because that a lot like that could be, the ultimate, big bad, like trying to control what happens. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I think they're in hell. I just think he could be, and I guess I say the devil loosely, like ultimate evil, not necessarily meaning the devil, but
yeah.
Fletch says, I think Donna takes her own life. This season, we've been witnessing Donna get broken over and over, and the guy that took his own life. In season 1 or 2 on Colony House could have been foreshadowing Donna's suicide.
I think Donna's a tough bird. I don't think she's.
Yeah, I don't think she will. I definitely will say I don't think that the actress thinks that, because I know she said that she doesn't know if she can break, like she keeps coming back. Like, she's down but not out. So I don't know. Yeah. Grant says, I think the worms had something to do with it. I'm assuming that maybe that's in reference to saying that Boyd can't be killed.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing. If I'm wrong, he can tell me, but I'm guessing.
Well, I know his Parkinson's went away when he had the worms.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he'll take the Parkinson's. Maybe he'll take the worms back if his Parkinson's get bad enough, like on purpose. That would be interesting.
Michael, find the worms.
Michael's saying they have a chainsaw. Was that in the stuff that he was getting to torture? I didn't see a chainsaw. I don't remember. I remember
Jesus.
I remember
he's got a hammer and he's like whack whack, and then he's like
yeah, I don't remember a chainsaw. I remember a saw, not a chainsaw.
I don't remember a chainsaw. That was scary.
Yeah, I know, that would be scary. They could do a lot though. If they had that, they could like totally chop down wood and make.
That would be really convenient.
That would be helpful. What would you guys do if Boyd turns into a worm? I think that's a question for Scarlett.
Oh, I think Randall's going to turn a cicada, but if Boyd turns into a worm too, and they have to have an ultimate smackdown, that'd be really cool. That's A+ TV. I'd watch that.
Okay.
And then there's a flying spider monster that comes.
Yeah, the spider, but what is it? Flying spider bear. Yep.
That's the trifecta.
Karen says tons of shows have deals where only the big bad can kill the hero. That's true. Possible. Let's see. Hello, Amy. Mackie says, I think they just can't kill Ethan and they can't kill the boy in white. Well, I think the boy in white may already, I'm hesitant to say may already be dead, because I don't know whether he's an entity or a ghost or what, but I think he may be dead already.
Well, I mean, if he's connected to the Ankui kids, probably.
Yeah, it depends. What do
but
you think?
He ages, so.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I think he probably was alive at one point and is not anymore. That would be what I think. I mean, yeah, he did age. That's true. But I think that was just his new avatar. Like his new avatar is getting older. They did that to explain how the actor is getting older. He probably lived at one time, just like the Ankui kids did.
Yeah. I do think it's funny though that they had him change with the seasons to kind of explain away him being older. Although it makes me question they did that and then they're not going to do anything with Ethan. So I don't know. Or will they?
They're just going to give Ethan bigger coats to wear.
Yep. He'll keep looking smaller. Amy's saying about the movie called Slither. It says something close to turning into a worm. I'm trying to remember that movie. That movie was very disturbing. I had watched it because Nathan Fillion was in it. I remember seeing it. I don't remember anything other than it was really disgusting. And I think it was an Ivan Reitman movie too, I think, with the effects. But I don't know. It has been years since I've seen it. But yeah, it was disturbing. Okay, let's see. Karen says, I can't count how many Tevan henchmen have said no, save him, her for the boss. That's true, but a lot of times they don't listen. Fletch says, I don't think Boyd has worms anymore since the Parkinson's is back, so the creatures can kill him. I don't think he has worms now either. I don't know. I just said it would be kind of interesting, like if he wanted the worms back to get rid of the Parkinson's or something. Like maybe they're like temporarily, like it makes you like immortal or immune or something. And I don't know. There's something to that. Oh, Michael's saying, meaning if the rescuers bring a chainsaw. Okay, that was to do with what he was saying before. I think about the boat. Deal with that damn tree in the road. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Muncher says, I mean, spider versus worm versus cicada plus interfering midway through. That's what I'm talking about. This is like some crack fic you guys need to write. Let's
The
see.
show that lives rent free in my head.
Yeah. Michael says, I kind of had a weird feeling like the boy in white is connected to the bottle tree, or even like it's Avatar or something. Don't know. Don't cut it down. Well, there has been the theories that maybe, although not that we necessarily think he's the same as the monsters, but I know there's been theories that the trees are actually like alive, or like the creatures or whatever during the day. I've seen that places. Karen says the voices tried to get Sarah to kill Ethan, so the monsters can't kill him and they try to work around solution. I think that's possible, or I think it's possible that they just wanted her to do it to hurt her. I don't know, because it's just like I was thinking today about how they told her she had to kill Toby and make it look like the monster did. Like we've been saying, why did she do that? Why didn't she just leave the door open for the monsters to kill him? I did notice she said that they said she had to make it look like the monsters did. That's what makes me kind of wonder if part of what you've said before is right, Julie, that like the different like groups, because that makes me think that whatever's talking to Julie is not the nightmare creatures, because otherwise why would they need her to make it look like they did it? Like, what would be the point of that? Unless it's just to screw with her, but
yeah.
I didn't know if you were gonna say this, Julie, but the whole like her taking a tongue out of somebody and an eye out of somebody else.
Yeah.
What we were talking about.
Yeah. The see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. So maybe next she's gonna take off someone's ear.
Yeah, and it might be just some sick game the entity has to amuse itself.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there were 3 totems that were in that position. The see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. I hope not. I don't want anybody else to be missing pieces. Amy says teeth is another crazy one. Is that the one where the woman's privates have teeth and bite off their guy's penis? I don't know if that's that or not. I heard about them.
Oh, Vagina Deltenta?
Yeah, I heard about that movie. I didn't see it, but I did see a movie where there was some kind of like it was just as bad. Some kind of I don't remember what it was, like a worm thing that like I forget exactly what it was, but that went into the people and it like crawled out of her and did that. Some weird shit out there. Let's see.
I thought she was talking about the teeth, like the tooth that Smiley had.
Oh, maybe. I assume she meant I think there's a movie called Teeth. That's what I thought. Maybe.
I thought it's called With Teeth.
Is it? I don't remember. Like I said, I didn't see it. I just remember hearing about it.
No, I thought we were talking about like eyeballs and tongues. And
yeah, maybe.
Little trophies that the monsters like.
Well, wasn't there like a tooth in Smiley's effects or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had him laid out in the slab. He had a tooth.
And a wallet.
Well, if you want to go out, if you want to go to the bar.
Well, maybe they take trophies from people. Who knows? Sounds so weird when we say Boyd got worms. Yes, it does sound weird. Okay.
Is it better if you say you got cicada nymphs?
Yeah. I still want to know if they're connected. The cicadas and the worms. Fletch says Smiley's actor affirms Smiley was looking directly to Boyd on the rebirth scene. I wonder if Smiley goes after him. He was facing away from him, though, wasn't he?
No, he turns around and looks at him.
Oh, when he turns around, yeah.
Yeah, he kind of has the reveal. He has the kind of Red Cthulhu saying that's not the cave because his membrane cloak kind of looks like that. And he shakes it off and turns around.
Was that in our interview? I don't remember him saying that. It might have been an interview. It was so long. The interview was so long too. I might have just missed it.
He talked about the membrane, having to break through the membrane. But I saw a picture where when he's holding it, it looks almost like the Red Cthulhu thing in the cave.
No. I mean about him looking at Boyd. I'm saying I don't remember Jamie saying that, but it could have been
because I didn't really care at the time.
No, it might have been from a different interview. I just don't remember hearing him say that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Amy says, I think the worms will come back into play next season with Julie going where Martin is again. Could be.
She's like, here I am again.
Yeah, I know. I think, I mean, he did seem to know her, so it's very possible he knows it from someplace else. Mm-hmm. Somebody, I was going to say, I'm afraid to click on it. I'm going to lose where I'm at. Okay, thank you, E-Man. I don't even know how to click on that. Where's it at? I seen it pop up. Oh, it's at the bottom. I'm too far back. That's why. I was going to say, I saw that pop up. I'm like, what was it? Thank you. Very appreciative. Really appreciate. Thank you, E-Man. Although now I lost where I was in the chat. I knew that was going to happen. As soon as I clicked on it, I was going to be like, where was I? Shit. You should be able to click on it when it does the little pop-up thing at the top, but you can't. Let's see. Let me find out where I was. Okay, here I was. Amy said, I think the worms will come back into play next season with Julie going where Martin is. Oh, that's what I clicked on already. I just read that. See, that's how tired I am. I was going to say, I want to read. It just reminded me because I said that about E-Man. I need to watch his E-Man's interview with Jack yet. I watched the producers one, but I have not gotten to see Jack yet. I haven't had a chance. I want to watch that yet.
He's my favorite out of the three, so I like watching his interviews.
Yeah, Jack's awesome, but I don't know. They I was just gonna say though, they kind of, I think, talk over each other too when they were talking. It was a long conversation. That reminded me though, we are almost at the third. Well, I guess not the third. We're almost at the beginning of the third hour. So if you did come in at some point in the middle and you haven't, please take a moment to like and subscribe the video and check out Julie's channel as well, which is in the description of the video. And make sure you subscribe to her channel as well. And also, I probably, because I haven't done it yet tonight, should post the I never figure out. This is so hard sometimes for me to remember what I'm doing. Should post the Discord link. I'm going to post in the chat as well. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, please make sure that you do, because we do our rewatch watch party on Saturdays at 8. And I was going to say, I think most people in here are on your Discord, but if you want to link them, you can. Julie, if you want to put yours up too, that's fine. Julie got quiet. Are you here? Maybe she walked away. I don't know, because I'm talking. I'm like, she's not saying anything. But
Entity got her.
Yeah, oh my God. I've been like laughing and stuff and responding to stuff, and I didn't even realize I was muted. I was muted. I'm sorry.
No, I just said I put my Discord link in, and I said I think most of the people here are in your Discord, but I said if you want to post your Discord too, you can. I don't care. But I just was saying that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I muted myself for a minute.
No, that's okay. No, I was like, wait, what? She's not saying anything. Also, though, I should mention, because I don't think this time, but if you missed our interview with the 3 producers from last week, that's also under SciFi Vision's live tab from the streams, because I know some people had missed it when it was live, so that is in there as well as the other interviews. Okay, let's see. Fletch says, I wonder if Storywalker meets them, the ones that are coming supposedly. Martin, you got to leave before they come to Boyd. Yeah, we never did find out who them is. Interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna find. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think we're gonna find out a lot through Julie, like seeing not flashbacks, seeing Julie travel, whatever you want to call it, her form of time travel, story walk. I feel like we're gonna learn a lot through seeing her story walk. Okay, Muncher says, what do you guys think will come of the wormy ballerina plot line? They just gonna abandon it, or is she coming back to possess Acosta, who will then confront the newfound powers? Fingers crossed. I personally think that storyline's over, because I think the whole music box thing is over since they turned the music off. What do you guys think?
Yeah, but yet the actress that plays Marielle is a ballerina.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah, that's weird. They didn't. Well, I guess they couldn't have her do it though, because we know it was her.
I mean, they haven't utilized that yet, so maybe that's going to be a part of it, which might denote that that plot line is not over. Just because of that.
Maybe. I don't know. What do you
I
think,
want to see her
Julie?
ballerina dance, and I want to see Randall break dance because Randall's a break dancer in real life.
Oh, that'd be cool. What do you think, Julie?
Yeah, I don't I don't think I think we're all done with the ballerina part. I think that part's done. The whole point of that I think was, well, I mean, he smashed the music box, so I think that's all done. And also she was trying to give him hints on how to pass the worms to a monster. She showed him the worms in her mouth. She grabbed his neck in another vision, and so I don't think we'll see any more ballerina stuff.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was all to lead to the cicadas and everything. So I kind of think the same thing. I think it's done, but that doesn't mean it won't. That it has to necessarily be. Dieter needs to work. Don't get fired because you're busy watching the stream, please.
Yeah.
Not that we don't appreciate watching the stream, but please don't get fired. Michael says, I like the Tithonus myth and the worms are really cicada larvae nymphs, and either Martin or entity is reborn by converting into cicadas. Martin to Boyd to Smiley to cicadas to the music box monster. Yeah, I think it would be interesting if the worms and the cicadas are the same thing, and I would like if they would, if it is, that they tell us that. But
I always thought it was the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, we haven't actually seen the worms. All we've seen is it under his skin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's something moving under his skin. So
no, I thought when he gave it to Smiley incubated it and they became cicadas.
It's very possible, but I
like
don't
they
know
were
that
cicada
was
nymphs instead of technically worms.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what they really looked like. I don't think that was ever. I mean, they never really said that, but I think it's an interesting theory, and I think it would be cool if it's the case. But yeah, because that could be what released them is whenever they went to Smiley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Entities can be killed too. I know he's not alive, probably. I think that was maybe in reference to the boy in white, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What? Okay. I think Randall will be the next carrier, Michael says, of the cicadas.
I think he already is, isn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if he is, he already is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you think then they're still in him? It isn't just that he's hearing them.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they haven't crawled out the side of his face.
Yeah, whenever he started seeing them and messing with his face, I remember at the time I said that. I said, if they crawl out of his face, I'm so done. I know you're probably like, yes, crawl out of his face.
And then kind of like, David Cronenberg's a fly. He just starts taking out flesh and then he's like a giant cicada.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. Really
no. No, thank you.
Yeah, we'll pass on that. Michael says, seems Randall is closer and closer to being possessed by the cicada visions. I definitely think that Randall is now having the hardest time with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the one that's not dealing with it well. The fact that he almost used the paddles on his head proves that. I don't think. Do you think it would have worked? Like, I feel like if he had done that, they wouldn't have let him die. Like the town wouldn't have let that happen.
Yeah. I don't think. I think the town wants him to suffer. He talked about how there are some fates worse than death. So like the town wants to keep him alive and continue to make him suffer. So I think it would have probably malfunctioned.
Yeah.
Like in a show where someone isn't supposed to die due to like time travel rules or whatnot. Like the gun would jam or something if they tried to shoot themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would just be too easy. I mean, they wanted to play with them. They wanted to do whatever they did to him. I still think there's a lot more that they did that we don't know yet, or that I shouldn't necessarily say they did, but that is a result of whatever happened when he was left outside.
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
on the
there's something going on.
because otherwise,
Like,
why give him back? Like Boyd's idea, they want us to see what they did to him and have it there in front of us. I don't buy that. Do you buy that?
I think it might be a dual thing. I think maybe that's part of it, to remind them that they're not safe even in the daytime. He's got this scar on his face that they all have to look at, but I think that there's probably more to it than that. They wanted to keep him alive so he continues to suffer too.
I say that too because like he wasn't actually attacked in the daytime, you know? I mean, he had that whole monologue, but he really wasn't attacked in the daytime. He was attacked at night. And I personally feel like I'm not sure why him being there with his face slashed open is any worse than knowing people died like Tian Chen. Like I don't know. I mean, I get what he means, but to me that just doesn't seem like why. I feel like there's definitely more to it. All right. And I was just going to say, we're almost at 1:30, guys. So for people who are listening to our stream, we're at least, I'm assuming you guys, if we're going to stick to what we said, we're planning to wrap up the stream by 2. So probably about 30 minutes or so. And then we're going to start wrapping up the stream for the night. So we're not staying all night like we've done multiple times.
Yeah.
Let's see. Watch Boyd be like, Randall keep giving me the cicada curse. Boyd kills all the walkers with the blood from the ritual. Then all the women in town get pregnant. Village of the Damned. Michael. It definitely would be interesting to use it to kill the monsters. But yeah, since they can come back, I'm not sure that it would work so well. And Amy says, why is Randall still hearing the cicadas? Yeah, I don't know if they're actually in him or it's just messing with his head, but he's definitely not better.
Yeah, it's like after effects that are going on. I don't think they're still with him for real, but it's like residual effects, and it's odd that it's just him and not Julie and Marielle. Like they all have different after effects.
Well, I would think if there wasn't the whole worm thing that we think may or may not be part of it, I would think that the whole cicada thing could have been more in their head than actual real cicadas. But since physically Boyd was able to transfer the worms, it makes me think that may not be the case. If the worms are connected to the cicadas, I guess if they're not, it doesn't really matter one way or another. But I still question the fact that Randall was out at night with the cicadas and lived. And was it that the monsters didn't kill him because they knew he was already infected and they didn't have to? Or was it that they couldn't kill him because he was infected? Because, you think about the fact that like Boyd transferred the worms to Smiley and it killed him, right? Temporarily killed him, whatever you want to say. So maybe like if they are the same thing, maybe the cicadas and the worms are like a protection against them. Like maybe if they get infected, the monsters can't kill them at all. That would be interesting.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Like they're like and it's not like that it's a good thing either. Yeah, it's not like, oh, okay, now they're granted protection because Randall called this. He implied that he was talking about himself when he said that there are some things worse than death. So I think yeah, it's possible that the three of them were not going anywhere. There's like a worse thing in store for all of them, or like a different purpose.
But you know what's interesting? Like I was saying about, I want to know why he survived at night. I meant like in the woods last season when they left him out at night and they found him after he was in the coma. But it makes me think though too, like, could it be more than that? Because maybe that's why they didn't kill him the second time either. Like why they just cut up his face. Maybe they couldn't because of whatever happened to him. I don't know. The more I think about it, that kind of makes sense. And it would be really interesting if they could somehow use the cicada / if the worms are the same worms, as some kind of defense against them. I don't know that I'd want to let them into my body just to defend me against them, but I'm just saying. Could be interesting.
I mean, yeah, they're suffering in different ways. Julia hears screaming in her head all the time, and only Weed gets rid of it. And Randall's suffering the cicada stuff. And Marielle, we don't know what's wrong with her, but she said she's not okay, and she doesn't think they ever will be. So there's something going on with all of them.
Yeah. I still want to know if all three of them can story walk, though. I think they can. Personally. But I mean, for all we know, the story walking could have to do with the fact that Julie's Tabitha's daughter. I mean, it could have nothing to do with the cicadas. I assume it does just because like she felt something when she got there, and Randall did too. That's what makes me think that. Amy thinks the entity could have gone into Marielle. I assume she means with the cicada, but I don't, or the cicadas, but I don't know. Let's see. Karen says, I hope to see the power of 3 if cicada sleepers ever talk to each other. I wish they would talk to each other. That would be interesting. And I also wish they'd all go to the ruins together, because I wonder if like maybe the 3 of them went together, even if there's some other kind of like thing beyond story walking. Like maybe Julie can story walk, but she can't change anything. But maybe if all 3 of them went, they could, you know? I don't know. Let's see. Boyd. Michael says Boyd didn't see worms under his skin anymore after transferring the curse to Smiley. Then Smiley released the cicadas, so it seems like they got passed along. Yeah, it's very possible. More about dance-offs. I'm not putting them up on the screen just because they're not really about to show, but it is funny. Yes, I'd like to see the dance-offs too.
And that's what the finale truly is.
Yeah, I know. Fletch says, poor Christy trapped with both Marielle and Randall in that clinic. If the cicadas turned them against her, oh boy, rip. R.I.P. Christy. Yeah, I don't think that she can fight them off. All right. Thanks for coming, Michael. And Julie is spending the night over at the clinic again, right? She just had that story walking journey, and she's supposedly having another night at the clinic to rest. Yeah, she was there. Did anything happen to Julie after that? Or was that, I think that was kind of the last thing that that happened in that story, like linearly in that time. Okay, Grant says, which one of Tony Heflin's 927 theories is your favorite? What I haven't read his theory, like his theories, so you guys will have to answer that.
Julie?
I tend to read Facebook theories and never remember.
I think she might have gone somewhere.
She walked away.
Yeah.
What's your favorite of his theories?
My favorites? I don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, he's got so many of them. Let me think of it for a second. Julie will know more than me.
Yeah, I was gonna step out for a minute, but I came back for this because I do have a good a response that I can give you. I really like his theory on how he explains the manifestation of things in Fromville. How he thinks that it's like he agrees with me that it's a kind of a nightmare realm, that it's a real physical place that you can go to, but it functions like a nightmare realm in that it can manifest things from people's dreams, nightmares. And I would also add feelings, thoughts, actions, and whatnot. And that's how you can explain why impossible things are able to happen here, why the electricity works. And he gave the example of like the cords that lead nowhere, the wires lead nowhere. But if that was pulled from a dream, manifested from a dream, people just dream the outside of the cord. You don't dream about the inside, where it's coming from. So it could explain everything, and it could explain how the livestock popped up in the woods and like all kinds of stuff that shouldn't be there. That the crops.
Yeah, dreams don't always make sense.
Yeah, so that's my favorite of his theories. He has a lot of good theories, and he was spot on in season 3. Like he was spot on with the stuff he predicted. He predicted Tabitha would be back in the ambulance. So we kind of collaborated on that one because I figured out, I pointed out to him that the ambulance looks like it would be coming from Camden, Maine. It says Knox County where Camden is. And then he was like, oh, well, then Tabitha's definitely going to be back in the ambulance. And he predicted it. He predicted it would be episode 4, and he was right. So he's been nailing it.
That's cool. Yeah. I think it would be interesting if maybe somehow they're like shared nightmares, shared dream state somehow created the place, like still, like you said, real world, but if maybe like somehow their minds like kind of melded and made this reality come to be, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, explain it like a lot of children's stories too.
Yeah, it could. Karen says Julie hears screams, Randall sees cicadas. I think Marielle has something that we haven't seen yet. I agree. And I'm kind of curious why we haven't seen it yet. Like, it's kind of surprising that we haven't, I think. But maybe it's just they didn't have time.
Or they're saving it for season 4.
Yeah, that's true. Fletcher points out Mariel did have a nightmare with Smiley going after them inside the clinic. We were talking earlier about Christy's nightmare. I forgot about that. Mariel did have a nightmare. So that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I wonder if Mariel ever speaks. And yes, I know you're being sarcastic. So you put under that sarcastically.
Yeah, there's some theories flying around that Mari might be able to see the future because she saw Smiley during the day in her dream.
Oh, maybe. I mean, if that comes to pass, but I still kind of wonder if, and obviously we asked him this and he don't know, but I still kind of wonder if now that he's like been born again, if he's going to have different powers, like if he is part human now. I mean, they do that in a lot of stories where they have like the ones that are like part whatever and part human, and then they like are imbued with pieces of both, and they can bridge the gap or whatever. Although usually it ends up they're like the savior or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen, but.
Yeah, but there was like, I kind of came up with my own theory because of that. If she could see the future, is that if Julie can story walk through the past and then Mari could see the future, maybe Randall has some power in the present because it seems to be the cave symbol represented like past, present, and future, like another 3. There's a lot of 3s in the show. Yeah,
well, three's a number in a lot of things, but that makes sense. But also, though, maybe like you saying that maybe since he's been born and is can possibly part human again, that maybe he'll be able to walk in the day, and that would make sense.
That'd be kind of crazy because then you'd have 2 entities, like a monster and an entity that can walk around and kill during the day.
Yeah.
A little dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
Unsustainable.
Unless maybe Smiley is the man in yellow in the future.
He just pulls Doug Hughes' mask off, and he's like,
"No, I know. I'm just kidding." I mean, I tend to think because they're immortal, they probably don't age, but you never know. Amy says, "Do you guys remember when Boyd's wife said, 'You can't save them; you're just going to prolong their suffering'?"
Yeah. I mean, I think she was just trying to get him not to smash the music box. That was just manipulation tactics. She said if they don't die today, they'll just die tomorrow. And I mean, we know they didn't die. He saved them. But I mean, it could have been like not literal, like, oh, they'll just all end up dying anyway. She said they're all going to die screaming. And who knows what could happen, but I think it was a manipulation tactic. I don't think we're going to get a bleak ending where everyone is massacred in the end. So I think it was manipulation.
No, I agree. I mean, Amy's right. He is still being terrorized, but I do think it was more just she said it so he wouldn't do that. Karen says, and if I'm going too fast, guys, let me know. I'm trying to go a little bit faster so make sure we get to the end of the chat before we drop off. With Marielle so recently recovering, maybe she doesn't trust that her dream, scream, cicada, whatever, isn't a symptom of withdrawal. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, nightmares can just be nightmares too. I mean, it could be.
Right.
It could be. Michael said, "Pretty sure that was just a music box monster fucking with Boyd to keep him from smashing." Yeah, the music box.
Exactly.
That's what I think too. Karen says the cicadas tie back to Sarah saying Nathan was afraid of them. I thought she manifested them. You know, we've said that before, and that Sarah said that. So it makes me question anyway. Okay. If okay, it's possible that nightmares, I'm saying okay, now I must be tabbed. We've said that, maybe nightmares manifest things, right? Because Sarah makes that comment. But we've also said maybe saying things manifest things, which I know is what Karen thinks. So my question is, Sarah said about his dream, I think after the worms, right? Actually, I think she said it about after the cicadas came too, didn't she?
I'm not 100% sure.
I'd have to go back, because it makes me wonder, because if, at least in this case, if she said it after, then it can't be her saying it manifested them. It would have to be that his nightmare did manifest them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought about that, because I honestly think it was Nathan probably saying something to her when they were in the town.
Right, but we haven't
seen it. But we don't see everything.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. Flesh says, we don't dream about the inside of the electric cables. Yeah, but the writers confirmed this isn't a dream. So, well, I think, and Julie, I think, is not here. She said she was going away for a minute. From what I understand, and she, when she comes back, or maybe if this isn't what she means, but I think she was saying that like this realm is created from nightmares, or is like part of it. Not that, okay, not that they're in a dream, that the realm is like, and I'm saying, using the word realm loosely, where they're at is like full of nightmares, sort of.
When they said it's not a dream, I'm pretty sure they mean it's not literally that they're asleep and dreaming all of this, because that was one possibility, that somebody could be dreaming all of this, or that they could be in a dream, like like a shared dream state. So I take that to mean that's what they debunked. But that's not what Tony's saying. That's not what I think it is. I think it's a pocket dimension, like a real place. They're all really there. They're all awake. But it's what you would call a nightmare realm. And the reason like we call it that is because things can be pulled and manifested out of people's nightmares. And people are also terrorized and manipulated through nightmares, visions of all different kinds. So that's
I guess the other question is too, when you say nightmares, do you mean nightmares as in fears, as opposed to literal night? I mean, it could be either, but
it includes fears. I think it includes fears. Even like saying something out loud, like we've talked about, it's words, actions, feelings, fears, and also nightmares too.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily asleep. It could still be happening in the real world. But also,
I mean, like there has to be a reason that they used nightmare in the script like 50,000 times, and they called them monsters nightmare creatures.
Right. Although I was going to say though, like you said, you think it's a pocket dimension. That was somebody had asked you, and I don't remember which person asked now, which one of Tony's theories you liked. So that isn't necessarily what you think either. That was just in answer to that. So, but it's definly an interesting thought.
Yeah. I mean,
what does it look? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, the nightmare creature thing, the way that they call the monsters nightmare creatures, and Tony actually gave me a really good idea. He saw me in his chat earlier a few hours ago, and he said like, I know you're doing a rewatch. Why don't you count how many times they say nightmare in this show? And I wish I had thought of that before we started. Now I'm going to have to rewatch episodes 1 and 2 again, because I'm going to count every single time they say dream or nightmare, because it's a lot.
I think I had marked down, and I'd have to go through my whole thing. I have marked down. I had marked down, I think, that they said it twice. I'm not saying they only said it twice, but I know they at least said it twice, because I'd had that marked down. Because she says if you climb high enough, even a nightmare can look like a dream.
Yeah.
We also have Christy having a nightmare, which not said, but still. We have Ethan having a nightmare. So
it's got to be, there has to be a reason it's there a lot. And I don't think it's there just to be a silly red herring, because like that would be a really, really annoying if it's just a red herring that's constantly in our face. Also in season 3, Dale said it's a forest full of nightmares, Jade. Nobody wants to be here. Like, they're constantly using that all the time. There's a giant dream catcher in the kitchen of Colony House, the biggest one
Yeah.
I've ever seen. I think that it's relevant,
Yeah,
but
the
not
one
that
it gives
they're literally
Fatima one too. Gives her a dream catcher.
yeah. I don't think that they're literally dreaming, but it's definitely got relevance to the story for sure.
That makes sense. Fletch thinks it's a simulation, maybe like Westworld. That reminded me that when you said that, that's another show people should watch. Although unfortunately, it did not get an ending. If you haven't seen Falling Water, I think if you liked From, you might like that. I liked it a lot. Karen didn't like it as much, I don't think, if I remember rightly, but I liked it a lot. It's about dreaming and stuff, and and like mass dreaming and things. It's cool. I liked it a lot.
Falling Water, is that what it is?
Yes, Falling Water. It was on USA.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if it's available anyway. Some things, the problem is like you talk about them, it's like, are they even available to stream? Like, did you ever watch the other one that's really good? Now that I said that, made me think of, although it's not, I mean, it has mystery. It's not a mystery necessarily in the same way as From, but it has mystery too. Is Awake, which is a series. Because I was just thinking of the OA when I said it. I had watched Awake because I mean, I've said it before, I like Jason Isaacs a lot, but Awake was really good too, but again, it was canceled. But I don't think you can.
Is that the one that had the true worlds where he was awake and when he was dreaming, but you didn't know which one?
The third world somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it when it was on television. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good show too, but you can't even. At least when the last time I looked, you couldn't find it anywhere to stream. I hate that. Like, if you're not going to make DVDs of things, you need to put them available to stream. Because I know a lot of TV shows don't make DVDs now, or they do DVD like on demand, like print on demand, which is fine. But at least make them available for streaming.
Yeah.
I always think about. Do you guys ever watch Eureka?
Yeah.
I was gonna say nothing like From. It was asking because I remember they used to have like these. I think it was like part of an ad or something, but they were like different inventions that supposedly they had in Eureka. And I remember one of them was for basically kind of like what we have now, but to like, to the nth degree. It was like a thing that you could use to watch I forget what it said, like any television show or movie or something from the past, present, or future. Like it was available to stream on it.
Sweet.
And that was cool. I always thought that'd be like the best invention ever. But I mean, we're kind of like that now. You can almost everything's on demand, but it'd be nice if they put old stuff on demand. They need to.
And a lot of things that aren't.
Yeah, a lot of things that aren't.
Well, and CDs too, because everybody says every band's available, through Spotify, and I'm like,
no. Older stuff, newer stuff, maybe. But yeah, I wish all the old stuff like you could get, because it's hard. I think they need to digitize things like old stuff. Not that Awake is that old. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Fletch says, I wonder if the writer's office looks just like one of these chats, just crazy ideas through all the way around, waiting to make sense at the end of the day. We asked, or somebody asked, I don't remember who asked. Maybe Karen remembers. Somebody asked the producers about their writer's room, and they basically were like, no, because we do it all through Zoom. So there is no physical board. Yeah, we were all envisioning this. So
there's no sketch that Jack Bender made of Randall was Kata Body and Randall's head.
You don't know. Maybe he did, or maybe he's listening to this and he will now. He should
I
totally
hope so.
do that.
I hope so.
He should totally do that. You need to write that like on social media. He should totally do that and then like auction it off to a charity or something. And I bet he'd get a lot of money. That'd be cool.
Yes.
Could the symbol meaning be 3 timelines? Roots stuck on a loop cycle. That's interesting.
Yeah, I've been thinking for a long time, actually, that I think that it could mean past, present, and future all intersecting. Like, we think that we're overthinking it. Like, what could this thing be? But it could be something as simple as past, present, and future intersecting within a never-ending cycle represented by the circle. And now that we know there's time travel, it makes even more sense that they'd be interconnected.
Because it could not exactly be time travel, more so as it's already all there and it's written, and that makes sense with story walking. Like if it's all there at the same time, that's like in some shows where they have that, like the things aren't linearly, like you're experiencing all of it at once.
Not linear. Yeah.
That was like when Jade was trying to make the symbol and everything out of yarn. And it looked like different timelines coming out one timeline, and then the goats ate it.
Yes. The goats ate his string theory.
Yes, and the string theory, yeah.
The goats are the writers saying you guys are wrong, right? With all your theories. Karen says, Amy's comment reminds me of Lost. It only ends once. Anything that happens before that is just progress. That's all we'll say, not to spoil anything. Yeah. Let's see. Fletch says, I do think the food appearing right after Tien's death was a manifestation of her desire to give food to them and her son Kenny. Huh.
Agree.
That's true. Could be.
I agree.
I tend to think, and I know I've said this a million times before. Karen always yells at me. She's like, you say that all the time. I think that the town or whatever provided them the food because they needed it, because they didn't really want them to die, or they'd have nobody to terrorize.
Well, it could go either way.
Of course, there had to be a sacrifice.
Yes.
Yeah. But I never thought about it being a manifestation. It could be. Although we tend to think of the manifestations as bad things, but I guess good things maybe could manifest too.
Yeah, like the livestock.
To be fair, though, the food problem is what led to her death. So I'm just saying.
Right. And, like the livestock, livestock shouldn't be in the woods. I think they're manifested there. Livestock shouldn't be running around, goats and chickens and stuff in the woods.
Yeah, I think they said at the beginning of the show.
Did anybody die around that time so Boyd could get those goats? I feel like it's less of a manifestation as an even exchange. Mm-hmm. Like maybe somebody else in the town died and then Boyd found the goats. Or it's related to Abby somehow.
I don't know if anybody has to die in the woods. Yeah, I don't think someone has to die for something to be manifested in every case. It depends.
Fletch says the creatures or the boy in white or sacrifice kids fears nightmares. If they can create magic trees, their nightmares can come to life. I'm gonna agree with that. Their hope creates trees. Their nightmares can definitely create some shit there. I agree. And Karen hated falling water. She's letting me know. I thought she did. I remember that. Although, to be fair, the one thing you should know about Karen, because if you don't watch our show, you wouldn't know. Karen hates things to do with dreams and like when things aren't real and they have visions and those kind of things. She generally doesn't like that kind of stuff. Also magic. so that's part of why she didn't like
50% of it then.
No, no, not in this sense. But I mean, like when if you watch something and if it ends up like the whole episode was a dream, yeah, no, that's a bad thing. That we hear about it for a while. That's what she don't like. The creatures are the last image the sacrifice kids have of their beloved ones coming at them at night to kill them on the original sacrifice timeline manifested in reality. That's a possibility too. I tend to think though that the creatures are, or were, I should say, humans at some point, just because that's one of the things. I mean, I know that there's like the unreliable narrator, but that's one of the few things I feel like we've been told in that part. Unless I'm told otherwise, I'm going to believe like that they were really people and that they did really try to get immortality. Because if it ends up that part of it isn't true, then like this whole season has no point. You know what I mean? Like just the idea that they were humans that are now immortal. I feel like the whole season would be senseless if that part of it wasn't true.
I don't know. I always feel like the end game is going to be they're going to have to lift a curse. So
yeah, it definitely could be. I just there's some things like I know you know things change, but there's like some things it's like I'll believe it unless I hear otherwise because to me otherwise it doesn't make tons of sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I'm sorry, Julie. Do what you need to do. Walk around, take a break. I think we're gonna just go probably a bit longer anyway, but that's why I'm trying to get through this.
Well, I'm gonna probably drop up around 2, so
yeah, that was kind of my point. We'll go a few more minutes and then we'll I butcher. I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before. Hi, at least I don't think I have. It's possible I have. My memory isn't what it used to be. I agree with Karen agrees with me. The creatures are the parents getting eternal life, not just the way they thought. Yeah. I think they were maybe tricked.
Yeah, that's a
And
possibility.
Gregory says Endgame will be Boyd surviving it all, and then he ends up being the boy in white on the next cycle, the Boyd in
The
white.
white, white.
Oh,
And he's dressed
please,
the
I hope
same.
not.
He's dressed in the white shirt and the shorts.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah, I don't know. You can't tell them because it would ruin everything, right? Yeah, we're almost at 2:00. So why is it that we get the most people when we go to Rab? Like, it must just be the time. I guess people's time zones, they tend to come later. But
yeah, Europe's about 8 hours ahead, so it's in the
yeah,
morning. 10
yeah,
o'clock.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear it's 2. That's all I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. But we, it's hard for us because we do at a certain point need to get sleep. But it seems like other people seem to be later. Butcher agrees that I think they were tricked into being monsters. Yeah. I still think it's the man in yellow that gave them the immortality and tricked them. Personally. Awesome, Nat. Did I miss the stream? Hello, Headless Ned. We're who is that? Is that Boromir? Whose head is that on? It looks like a Walking Dead image, but it looks like Boromir from Lord of the Rings. I'm not sure what that is. Headless Ned. I guess it's Ned, whoever Ned is.
Yeah, it's Headless. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just wrapping up. You came because it's 2 a.m. here now. We are trying to Ned Stark. I assume if that's Stark, that may be a Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we usually lately have done like 6-7 hours, and it's just too much for us. So we're trying to be a little more concise and not stay quite as long. Yeah, Game of Thrones. Yeah. So that's what's. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does look like him. I just was thinking it looked like Boromir. Oh wait, that is Boromir. What am I thinking? That's the same actor. Yes, isn't it Boromir? Yeah, he what's his face plays Boromir, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It's just been so damn long.
I have no idea. I don't watch it.
Now I'm gonna look because that's gonna drive me nuts. I just can't. I'm like, wait, that is him. I just can't think today at all. You know me. He ain't even freaking gonna come up when I put in the cast list. That's because there's so much a freaking long. It's Sean Bean. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, it is Boromir and Sean Bean.
Yeah, he was in.
Yes, I don't know. Game of Thrones really isn't my thing. It's a little violent for me. Not that From isn't violent, but anyway.
I just saw Sean Bean in Snowpiercer when that
finished.
Yep.
Yeah, and Sean Bean died in Snowpiercer too. Eventually. Well, sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen the end. Yeah, he died twice.
He had to die once and then come back and die more dramatically.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think Banana, I saw you ask that. I was about ready to answer, but I see Julie typed it. Yes. Our normal show for this is Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, we usually do longer, but we're trying to not do so long and not hurt ourselves so bad because we're it's not good to be streaming for 6 hours at a time. It's not great on your body.
It's from TIG is what it is.
It's from TIG, yeah. But we I don't know, it just seems like everybody comes at towards the end. But yeah, it might have been because of Jeremy's stream or because of the didn't you say Nathan Simmons was doing an interview?
Yeah, but that was over by 10:30. They are kind of wrapping up at 10:30.
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna put the Discord link in the chat again, guys. I never know if it's gonna. I put it so it's a permanent link, but every time I go to make a link, it freaking changes. So I don't even know how you stop it from doing that. But if you haven't joined the Discord, please do so. Every Saturday we have a rewatch party at 8 p.m. And yes, Sean Bean does always die. Spoilers.
Does he die twice though?
Yeah, he died twice, but that's become a joke. That's why I'm like, is that Boromir? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, wait, that's the same actor, you idiot. No, I'm just dumb. But I was saying, but please join Discord. We have our rewatch party on Saturday nights at 8 Eastern. We'll be doing episode 3 this Saturday coming up. And then, although I don't know, I was going to say, what day of the week is Christmas? We probably should look because I'm saying that and then thinking, okay, I assume we'll probably do next. Yeah, it's around Christmas, but I think I'm assuming you guys still want to do next week. It's not quite Christmas, but yeah, we have the rewatch party at 8 in the Discord that I just posted the link to, where we stream the episode for everybody to watch. And then Sundays at 10:30, we do this deep dive live stream. And then Julie has her live streams for her deep dives, which, of course, like I said, links in the description. You can check out that. And I also have my stream with Karen and AJ that's on Tuesdays at, now before it was at 9 when we had From stuff. Now it's at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays, where we review and talk about, right now we're doing Silo and Dune Prophecies, and we kind of do whatever's on that's good that we do every Tuesday. So yeah, check out those streams. And like I said before, if you missed any of the either live streams where we have interviews or any of the recorded interviews, they're all on Sci-Fi Vision's YouTube. And of course, the one thing I probably should put up that I don't put up is, wrong thing. Hold on. Is scifivision.com, which is the main website. But all that's available. And I will also add the newer streams to the playlist. I think it's like up to date until tonight. So I've been keeping there's a playlist where I put all the From interviews and all of our deep dives, not our weekly miscellaneous show, but the deep dives. But yes, thank you everybody for coming.
Can I advertise something else really quick?
Yes,
before we
go for it. No, sorry, go for it.
Me and Julie are having Severance watch parties. I don't know anybody in the chat likes Severance, but we're having watch parties at 10 p.m. EST on Thursday nights. And Julie's Discord, which I'm sure is a link on this chat somewhere. And then we go on to YouTube to talk about and discuss the episodes. And we're on episode 3 and 4. So it's great for people that want to rewatch it, or it's great for people who it's their first time. We'll probably set you up with 1 and 2 if we can. And we just talk about it for like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, cool.
And there's a link to my Discord on my channel too. If you just go to my channel.
I was going to say, if you go in my Discord too, you can find links to her Discord or ask one of us. But I think most people here are already in your Discord if they're in mine. Okay. But yeah, you can paste it if you want. I don't care.
And just for anybody who rewatches, And
I know we were talking about in my Discord channel having a Severance rewatch too, or watch party too. I don't know that I'm going to do deep dives like you do, but it'll give people more times during the week to watch it. But I more or less want to do a Severance watch party just because otherwise I won't watch it. I have to have time. Yeah, Karen's asking if we deep dive any other shows during the hiatus. You do Severance. Is there anything else you're doing?
I want to do Yellow Jackets.
Or you want
me and Julie were thinking of doing a thing because I had seen Severance, and then we do lives, and then I kind of guess what's going to happen because I don't know what's going to happen, and she gives her impressions of when she first saw it, and then maybe we could flip and do Yellow Jackets because I've seen Yellow Jackets and Julie hasn't.
Right. Yeah. It's a popular format for a podcast, and it's a fun format to do. So that's hopefully, I'm gonna try Yellow Jackets. Hopefully I like it enough we can do that after. And I also want to cover Welcome to Derry. I think that's coming out in January. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested in that.
I haven't heard of that one. Yeah, I want to start doing some more. I'm not used to I've not, these deep dive things are relatively new for me. I just started doing it with you. I haven't really done a lot of them, but I need to do some pre-recorded stuff. But yeah, maybe I'll have to poke in some of your deep dives for Severance once I watch it and catch up. But yeah, everybody, please make sure you subscribe to this channel and also to Julie's, which, like I said, is in the description. But I think unless you two want to keep going for a little bit, I think, we said we were going to try to wrap up at 2, and it's 2. So
yeah, it's good. It's good for me. I need to get my 6.5 hours of sleep.
Yeah, well, I have an interview at 11, so I have to watch a movie beforehand. I need to watch a movie tonight and then do the interview.
Yeah.
So, also I should mention, because I know some of you do watch Earth Abides. I did put up tonight the interview with Elise. I don't know how you say her name. Levesque, I guess is probably how you pronounce it. Who was in tonight's episode. That interview is up now. So that's Earth Abides. But yeah, I got other stuff to catch up. But Karen's battery is going to die. Okay, good night, Karen. But anyway, thank you for everybody that came. You can always also find me on social media on the X link there, and for updates. because I post all the updates there for our streams and everything else, same as on other socials. Okay, guys. Well, have a good night. We made it 3.5 hours. I think we did good. We kept to what we said. So
I'd say we did. Thanks for having me, Jamie.
High fives all around.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, we'll see you all next week.
See you then.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.